Cad Bane was an absolute delight. He killed someone for a hat. How could you not love someone like that?
Yeah, I'd have to say Cad Bane, while he was an absolute asshole, he was pretty great.
He was a very well played asshole.
I've started watching through the Clone Wars series again, and I noticed that they did this really distracting thing where in season 2 some things happen, but in season 3 they go back before season 2. They do a lot of jumping around in the timeline with the Clone Wars, which is fine, but sometimes it's really confusing. Like, for example, in Season 2, Cad Bane does a heist, but in Season 3, you see an episode where he's doing prep for that heist.
Yeah, I've got to admit that it is
I got something in place for this. Rewind.
Very difficult to follow. But I just remember that, you know, this is a cartoon series that was meant for kids.
Right.
And you weren't exactly meant to just sit down and watch it from start to finish.
Yeah. The one
I am
that
glad they
bothers me
finally
the
gave
most-
it the final season, though.
Oh yeah, I am too, because like when they took it from Cartoon Network was like, really quick, get the last few episodes out on Netflix. Just do it, go. Because back then it was on Netflix because Disney didn't have a streaming site. I gotta say though, the one grievance I have most with Clone Wars is the character Atono. And I don't know if you guys know who Atono is off the top of your head, and if you don't, that's fine. He's completely forgettable.
And don't.
Atono is introduced in I want to say right after the first season, where they have almost right away they have a 3-episode series where there's the giant ship, and then right after that they go to, I want to say, Iridonia, and that's where the character that Padme refers to as Uncle Atono is introduced. Now, spoiler alert for everyone right now, for Clone Wars, there is an episode in, I want to say, either early Season 3 or late Season 2, where Atono is assassinated. Then through the rest of the series, they keep bringing him back, like they never killed him. That's probably my biggest grievance with the show. I understand they do some time hopping around, but they kill him, and then I guess everything else happens before they killed him.
They didn't get continuity quite right.
Yeah. It's hey, we want to have an episode where one of the characters die, but let's also have them important to other plot lines. Disney has Disney Plus, which is good for maybe 2 to 3 shows. Yeah, Disney Plus. It's good for Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Star Wars: Mandalorian, all of the classic Disney TV shows. Because let's be honest, going back and watching DuckTales is an absolute delight.
Don't forget
Star
Star Wars
High Seas
Rebels.
is also a very nice option.
I really liked Star Wars Rebels myself. But it suffered from the same thing that Rogue One and basically all of these spin-off shows suffer from, where, oh wait, to keep the continuity with the movies, these people can't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, dude.
And so they all get killed off.
Spoilers.
Well, yeah, true. Except you really cannot say spoilers when, we're talking about something that... How old is it now? Let's see.
I don't know how old Rebels is, but I haven't finished watching it. Rogue One's been out there for a little bit of time. But
2014. 2014.
Are we talking about Rogue One or Rebels? Because I'm pretty sure Rebels started in 2014. When was it last aired?
Either way, it is well past the time for spoiler warnings to be required.
When it comes to a TV show, I wouldn't quite say so. There's still plenty of people who haven't seen The Office, and saying things about The Office may require spoiler warnings because it's a good show. And so there's some people who haven't seen it, so And The Office has been around for, what, over a decade now? And done with for over a decade now? Still a good show. You should go watch it.
I've seen enough of it in my time.
Yeah. It was a good time killer, but... I mean, I enjoyed it. It's just not something that I would... I'm not a huge, I want more of this. Honestly,
if I watched it as it was coming out?
Yeah, maybe. I partially feel like it went on just a little too long. And
I will state, if you want something that's like The Office, but tries to do something a little bit different and be a little more fun with itself, watch Community.
I should watch that at some point. I've seen one episode.
Yeah, Community is an absolutely delightful show. There's a surprising number of memes that have come out of it, and I can absolutely see why. It is a show that likes to be a little bit meta as well, which is delightful. Not in a bad way.
Indeed.
Anywho, well, we got 2 minutes left. I'm going to wash my hands because they randomly feel a little bit sweaty. And you all had to know this.
How could you?
How could I what?
Be late.
Oh, very easily.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Retrograde Renegades Starfinder. Oh, we will pass this over now. Ricky.
Yeah, what's up?
You were the one that was, filming all of it, so, give us a good recap of the film.
Yeah. I performed. I did a small little gig at this little nightclub. I think we were here to hang out, find one of Pellet's friends.
Don't forget the fact that you forced the professor off the turntable.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to that. So yeah, I get in. I'm heading over to my station. Professor over here. Professor. Sorry, I had to say that. Gets over there before me and starts playing this weird accordion music. I let him have his 5 minutes in the spotlight, and then stuff starts kicking off. People busting in, and we're cracking heads left and right. And then a really big head came in, big power armor and stuff, and we hung back because he was a lizard guy, just like Pellet over here. And they just kind of fought. I did a heck of a show. really pumped up the jam. Got the music flowing. Got the blood flowing, and there's a lot of blood. Let me tell you. Pellet kind of managed to cut the guy's head off, like one stroke. Check out my website. See the video. Fantastic, cool shit. And yeah, now we're kind of heading to break one of Pellet's friends out of prison. Probably shouldn't say that. We gotta ruin the surprise. Also, I'm walking this drunk kind of wolf guy home with Benny.
He needed to stay off the dance floor.
Well, speaking of Benny, as we get out of earshot,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, so what's the deal with you and Pellet right now?
Pardon?
Do you like Pellet?
I like all of the party members. Well, I really don't know about Void Cloak. I don't interact with them much, but they did kind of help me out with that religious stuff.
Let me kind of let's say what I see. I see that you two were kind of a thing, at least a little while ago. I don't know if that's kind of stopped. Is that true? You guys no longer a thing?
Ask him at this point. I'm not. I don't know.
All right. Well, at least tell him, because I'm not sure if he knows. I draw some clear lines. Okay. I care because I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why I care, but I do.
Okay.
All right. Now help me get his door open.
Yeah. Let me just get his keys.
Yeah, here's his keys.
Okay. Thank you. Click.
The wolf will sort of stumble inside, and he makes it about 6 steps before he just falls flat on his face. You just hear this loud snoring coming from him.
Oh, we gotta move him to the side so he doesn't drown in his own vomit. Don't ask me how I know that, but I do.
Wait, what?
It's like you just put him on his side so he doesn't drown in his own vomit. It's a
Yeah, the
fucking rough way to go.
It's the recovery position, yeah.
Yeah. I'll put him onto his side and then I'll leave.
I've learned a few things from some parties. I get you.
And we're gonna head back to the nightclub.
Like, did you know if someone's overdosing, you need to flush their system?
Like making him pee?
No. You need to
What?
you need to it's some sort of blood thing. I know part of
blood.
it. But
Gotcha.
No, you
No?
do not remove the blood.
Okay.
You need to
What if they have too much?
you need
blood?
to flush all the drugs out of the system. Which I think you need to use more drugs to do that.
Like the opposite drugs. They cancel each other out.
It's like medicinal stuff.
A lot of drugs are medicinal.
Okay, I think we need to make sure that we do not let these two hang out on their own. People will die.
Hoping we didn't kill this guy. Probably didn't.
I don't have an IV bag, so
Just alcohol, so...
he could have alcohol poisoning. Which I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure how that's different from just having a fucked up kidney. Anyhow.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Should we head back to the party?
Yep.
All right. After you.
Pellet is currently regaling Kickstart with the tail Yeah. That's pretty much it. I think he dragged in Squeak if he could find him.
All right. Yeah, you can pull in
Squeak and Ty.
regale tales. I assume you guys are heading back to the ship then at this stage. Heading back to the retrograde, or are you staying on the planet for now?
I mean, I don't know if I can. I've still got my ship. And as far as I'm aware, there's no way for me to land my ship in the retrograde, so I'm just kind of
Yes, there
floating
is.
it. So, is there?
You
There's a spot
well,
cleared out
yeah.
in the hangar. Also, you can get it in there. She's getting it out. It's kind of issue. Or
Okay, I was
Slow.
under the impression that all of our sort of hangar spaces were taken up by Ricky's scrap project and Zim's ZGF Xeno Finder. So if I can just land it, then I'm good.
Yeah, you can land it.
Right. Then yeah, I have no issue. Wow, that shit.
well, I guess we should, at least talk about exactly what we're gonna be doing here. Like we're for real, like breaking somebody out of prison, right?
Yeah, he said the icebox, yeah.
Okay.
I've had some friends that have gone there.
And it's like a privately owned prison, right?
I would assume so.
It's more of a holding facility than a prison, but yes, it's privately owned.
Yeah, it's...
So how much trouble you think we're gonna get in?
Well, technically, if it's privately owned, then we will get in trouble with a faction or company rather than a specific law enforcement. Though we are also technically freeing prisoners from individuals who have been endorsed by the law to capture them, so...
Hmm.
Jeffrey, I'm sending you a quick PM.
All right.
And trespassing, yeah. That is an issue.
All right.
We'll hail everyone on comms real quick.
Yeah? What's up?
I just wanted to say thank you for joining me on that spontaneous job there. Ended up going pretty well, and I have you all to thank for it.
Hell yeah. I'm here to kick some skulls and break some names and,
Well,
mix shit up.
I feel like I owe you all at some point. I don't know what you'd want or whatnot, but think on it.
We'll
I
figure
owe
it
you
out.
one. We owe you one, and I'll pay that.
The professor is just kind of gonna be off working on those bodies.
Yep.
Benny's gonna go look for his therapy animal.
He didn't have an opportunity to do it before, so, now he's gonna get it.
So you guys are heading back to the retrograde at this point, eh?
I thought we agreed on that already.
I thought we
I
already
thought you
were on the
were in
retrograde.
Yeah. Like once we figured out my whole docking, I think we were all good.
All right, overnight rest.
Wonderful.
Well,
All right. Pellet will take a little time to decompress by helping Squeak in the kitchen.
All right. Scheme and kickstart. Oh, not scheme. Sorry, Twitchy and kickstart. End up spending a lot of time just talking and catching up. If anyone is hanging around the kitchen, as they'll be hanging around in the mess hall, they'll hear lots of laughing, lots of talking about Pellet, lots of back in the days.
Pellet, I think is an earshot of this, considering the kitchen. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mostly reminiscing.
Hmm. He'll occasionally throw out an objection like that didn't quite happen that way, or let's not talk about that. Not in front of the kids.
Ah, yes, Pellet. The continuous buzzkill.
What's everyone else doing besides Professor? We already heard from him.
I'm going to get my therapy animal and cuddle it.
Ricky's just loading everything back up.
The professor is just examining the bodies in depth, looking for ways we might be able to counteract the screeching, as well as ways to kill them easier.
So the emerged drones are susceptible to electricity.
Yeah, we figured that much out. It's the other things.
The screeching is specifically sound-based. There's nothing extra to it, so if you can silence them or figure out a way to block the sound, it appears that you should be safe. That includes being in a vacuum.
He's also going to be looking for ways to at least prevent them from breaking out, trying to find ways to reverse it or stall it or, the
From what you can
emerging.
tell, by the stage they're emerging, it's basically it was a drone on the inside the whole time, just wearing a skin suit. So by the time they emerge, the host is already dead.
Okay, what about ways to detect them early?
Metal
Like-
detectors don't seem to pick up on the arc steel. It doesn't seem to register as metal, it still registers as bone, even though you can see that it is clearly metal.
Interesting.
You do know the arc steel of them isn't quite the same as the arc steel that you have, like for example your tank. The composite of the drone arc steel has a lot more calcium in it. Yeah,
What-
basically, from what you can tell, they use the bones of the victim and build on top of that and use that as the resource.
Samimi, would you, join me here? Now, I wish you to detect the energies of this particular arc steel, this variety of it. Perhaps we could discover some way to detect the necrotic energies that was present in it before.
Alright, so Samimi casts Detect Magic. You don't get anything from it now, because it is very much dead and gone. From your experience earlier with them, they were giving off some amount of magic, but it didn't quite seem to be necrotic magic. It seemed to almost just be the life force of the person that was the former body.
But is it, was it different than normal, the normal magic in any way? Some manner of early detection system would be very very helpful for us. Would you not agree?
The life force seemed to be the same as a normal person. As for early detection, at the moment, nothing that comes to mind that would exactly detect it. You can take guesses, but pretty much without taking a bone sample, you're pretty sure you'd have a hard time identifying.
Well, alright. I'll have to continue thinking on this and see what I might be able to come up with. Thank you for your assistance, Samimi.
Let's not do that. I don't know
That
if I'm.
might be an interesting hypothesis you have. What were the riot grenades? What did they do?
In short, the riot grenades were flash grenades.
Even that, no.
So a very a very bright light might reveal them. Is that what you're saying? The professor's kind of rubbing his chin, thinking about this. Yes, I might be able to come up with some manner of system to attempt that. Yes, I understand now. I'll get to work and see what we can come up with. Thank you.
Oh dear.
Well, the professor is going to be building a kind of a pointed flash grenade system. Probably more like a very powerful flashlight kind of idea. We're just gonna
All
blind everyone going forward, you know? No big deal.
What if they got sunglasses?
Well, then of course we'd make them take those off.
You will
When you
take off
do
your
return-
sunglasses.
When the party does return back to Absalon, the convention that has been working
Wait,
together
are we
with
returning
all
to
the-
Absalom?
He
I was gonna
was.
say when.
Are we?
Well,
I thought we were
I
still
don't
at the
think-
planet. I thought that's where we were doing the prison break.
Yeah.
I'm saying when you return to Absalon, not
Ah.
that you are returned.
Okay.
When you next do return to Absalon, you'll find out that the convention has also been working on ways to detect drones.
Beautiful. I'm glad we're all on the same side. Nudge, nudge,
Their
wink,
way's
wink.
not exactly nice.
Oh no, they're going to burn them at the stake. They're going to do that crusade thing where they're just going to kill the person they're putting on trial, and then they're going to be like, well, now that he's dead, there's no proof he wasn't.
Only in this case, an autopsy will prove they were or weren't.
No, they're probably going to do that thing where they're not even going to let you near the body, because he probably was, so you shouldn't touch the body, because it's necrotic. And then they'll just get rid of all their political rivals that way.
But yes, so you guys are able to take a rest. I do believe that Benny was able to pull up the plans for the prison that you guys are looking at.
Yeah, I just have them. Are they open source?
Ignore
guess
the
they
fact that
are.
I've put you guys up there already. That was a just in case. Interestingly enough, I measured the size of Zim's shuttle. It fits perfectly on the pad. That is actually the size of Zim's
Hey, look
shuttle.
at that.
No. That's
What did
assuming we
you-
want to just walk right inside.
So, hey, who is this guy and why are we breaking him out?
It's
But ignore the fact that you guys are there right now. You aren't on the landing pad yet.
Hmm. This is
Th-
like
th-
during the flyover.
This is our battle
This
map.
GM being prepared.
I've made a little map in the cafeteria. It's got a bunch of little models on it. I made little models of us using the 3D printer. It's like a little D&D map.
Ты чё какой псих, Бади?
What?
Oh,
I don't
did
see
you
why
not
not.
have your universal translator on? It's very helpful for
Ты
understanding
чё какой
this.
псих, Бади?
Oh, it's the Martin GIF.
Oh, there's a GIF going on?
Yep.
I mean, do we have any samples of
Well,
the
I really should rename
what a
them to
transponder
videos,
ought to look
but
like?
Ты чё
still.
какой псих, Бади?
Now number 99.
He's squeaky.
I like it a lot.
Бади, Бади нет, Бади нет, Бади
Oh
нет.
god, this
so
one.
Бади, 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 это мой. Бади, Бади
So
нет,
from what you can
Бади
tell,
нет, Бади нет, Бади
There's
Бади, Бади,
no
Бади,
specific
это мой.
transponder.
Бади,
Shuttles
Бади
seem to
нет,
come and go
Бади
from
нет,
this
Бади
location
нет,
quite often.
Бади нет, Бади, 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 это мой. Бади,
What,
Бади нет, Бади нет, Бади нет,
Would they have any
Бади
sort of
нет,
markings, or
Бади,
would
Бади,
I have
это
any
мой.
idea of that?
Бади нет, Бади нет,
You'd probably
Бади
guess
нет,
that most of the
Бади
ones that
нет,
are arriving or
Бади,
going are either
Бади,
picking up or
Бади,
dropping off
это мой.
prisoners or
Бади,
bounties.
Бади нет,
Мгм.
Бади нет, Бади нет, Бади, 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 это мой. Бади, Бади,
So we pretend one of us is a prisoner.
Бади нет, Бади, Бади, Бади,
I see. That's a pretty easy way.
Бади нет, Бади нет.
That would be until we get to a point where they're like, hey, this guy isn't, there's no bounty on him.
Yeah.
Бади,
Wait a bit.
Бади,
We would have to take out a bounty on one of ourselves, and
Hey,
then...
Don't we have somebody on the ship with a bounty on them?
Do
We
we?
Yes, Twitchy.
do.
We do. We have Twitchy.
I
I'm just
insist.
saying.
I
Oh,
insist he decide though. He's already.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna tie him up yet.
Well,
If he trusts you, Pellet, he's going to leave that entirely up to you. You're the ones
Well,
who
we-
obviously know what you're doing here.
we can either use that bait, but there also is an alternate pathway that we could try to use to get in stealthily. Though we would need to get to this platform somehow.
We'll just fly in.
Do we
Well,
have
yes,
any?
but that's the
uh,
thing, though. Once we've flown in, there's this little pad to the left. Walking inside, it would be to the right, but to the left of the
I have
landing
an
pad.
idea.
Yes,
I have the armor of a bounty hunter.
this is true.
Do we know anything about him? Did you find? I'm not
Mm,
too handy with
I
research,
didn't
but
even get the guy's name.
no. But is
Did
there a
you
way we
steal
can
his ID?
whatever was in his suit? I have whatever was in his armor.
I assume if he kept an ID anywhere, it'd be in his pockets.
Yeah.
I can probably figure this out in a real jiffy. You give me a sec.
Do you have his identification, Pellet?
It ought to be in his pocket. Maybe.
It should be. But do you
I
have
have his gear. I haven't. I don't think I didn't have time to look through it very specifically, so I'll check.
Why don't you go check? Yeah.
Alright, so there was a communication device, basically the equivalent of an iPhone.
25
his
missed
gear.
calls.
Yeah, there are a couple of missed calls. There's a message asking for an update on the his latest catch.
Okay.
I'm going to look back on his message history just to get an idea of how he writes, and then I'm going to send a.
Look, this is just what you can see on the home screen. You can't
Oh.
unlock it.
Well, gee.
Well,
Why not try to?
Yeah.
of all the people who can't get into a phone, I'm gonna try to get in.
Give me a computers check.
Whoopam.
Ricky.
Do I set off any countermeasures?
You set off all the countermeasures?
Oh, no.
I'm specifically allowed to know from my class.
Oh, cool.
Your class says you know if you set off countermeasures. You have set off an alert.
Perfect. I'd like to counter that alert. Hack directory. Whenever I attempt to hack a system and fail a check, I immediately become aware of any countermeasures that were activated. I can select one of those countermeasures and attempt another computer's check with the same DC to deactivate it. However, after that, this is just to deactivate that. I don't get in.
All right then. Give me a second check.
I believe. Fuck. I spiked the phone. It's coming right at me.
Hold on. Let me
What?
go ahead and have a look at
It's already
that,
on the floor. It is smoking. It's too late.
At this point, with rolls like that, yeah, I'm calling that you tried to hack into it, and on the whole, like it's in the middle of just erasing itself right now.
Yeah. I tried to do the thing where I increase the core clocking speed so I can like kind of jump over all the security. And now it's just kind of burnt itself out. So
Well, I guess we could just say
Who are you bluffing to?
The body. He doesn't want to admit that he just fat fingered it and messed it all up.
Oh. One second. Insight's not a thing. I guess it's perception?
For what?
Counter bluff?
Sense motive, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Same roll, though.
I'm rolling incredibly consistent today.
Then he just squints at Ricky softly.
What?
You know I understand how computers work, right?
I mean, these are, no, it's kind of really geared towards a consumer, not really towards a enthusiast like me. So it's understandable that it really couldn't handle my handle it all.
Right, even though this is an advanced piece of technological equipment that was used by a law enforcement individual.
Well, you think contracts are won by the highest bidder? Think again,
Pellet
bud.
Armor said yes.
That looks
Give him this guy's
Industrial
tech. I'm
gears
gonna
where
go
it's
ahead and
at.
say yes.
Imagine how much higher it could have been if they were the highest bidder.
Not much.
Also, don't trust military equipment. It's made by the lowest bidder. Industrial equipment's where it's at. That's a fact. You can take that to the bank.
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
So, do y'all think this plan is still a good idea? I'm
Well-
a bounty hunter. He's the bounty.
Well, Ricky has simply destroyed this piece of technology, which says to me that something went horribly wrong when he tried to get inside of it.
You couldn't
Just
handle
say it got hit on the job, and that's why I haven't replied ever. If anyone asks.
Yeah.
But hit on the job is what someone hacking into your phone means.
Just say someone was hacking into it.
And it erased itself
Wireless hacking,
before I
yeah.
could touch.
Yeah, wireless hacking's a thing.
All the evidence is there, I suppose.
Listen, we can try to go ahead with your plan if you still want. However, I propose a secondary plan that we attempt in the background.
We posted the start of the video. We did, at least I posted the start of it. Ricky, did you post the full thing?
Not yet. I'm considering whether or not I should post it after, like, behind a little paywall.
So nobody knows the end result yet.
Nobody knows the end result, no.
Okay. That,
How much you want to sell that for? Like 10 credits a pop?
yeah, but not till we're done with this.
Fair enough.
Right.
Let's not blow our cover.
All right. So here's what I propose. Pellet, if you want to go into the front door with the prisoner and try and do things that way, that's fine. I can't guarantee that's going to work out.
I'm open to hearing other plans.
If you want to still do that, I can exit and I can go on that lower platform. You see from that landing platform how on the blueprints here there's a lower platform from where the ship lands?
Yeah.
Like a maintenance walkway. I can get on there and I can get on that sort of pretty sure that side's west. This side over here. You just
Yeah.
points to it. I can get
That's
on there
east.
and east side. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure north is the other direction, but sure. I can, according to this blueprint, get in through there. It looks like there is a cargo area. That, it looks like it's mainly maintenance and whatnot. And then past there, it looks like there's a boiler room. And then there is some sort of, I'm guessing, sewage drain? All in all, that's probably the quietest path to try and get back there. So we can keep in contact via the comms. I can try and get through that way. And if you have trouble on your end, you can try and pull out while I try to stealthily insert myself while they're busy dealing with you guys. I can get inside, splice the system, and get out stealthily while you guys provide either a distraction of some sort or make your way in as well, I guess.
I might insist Mimi go with you on that, just for contingency. But
Yeah.
So Mimi, are you stealthy? Okay.
A little bit.
Because I was going to utilize my wall crawling abilities to just kind of like walk over the ceiling if anyone was kind of, you know, like looking around for some odd reason, looking for supplies or something.
that's fair. But you never know when a spell might come in handy.
What if I send Eddie along with you? Just
And,
hold him on your
Pellet,
back, just
send
in
me
case you need
talk
to
to
hack
back
into
up.
something. Think of it like a telepresence thing.
Wait.
I'm perfectly capable of hacking myself.
Eh?
Which suit do you mean, Mimi? The bounty hunter one?
The bounty hunter suit that you've taken,
Right. So
it tracks heart rate, biofunctions.
So
Basically,
it-
it can constantly report your health to you.
whoever is tracking that may know the wearer was deceased at some point.
Not necessarily. It may be. It could be deceased. I don't know if it has that sort
It
of
does
reading.
track heart rate.
In
Your
all
heart tends to stop when you get decapitated.
well, in all possibility as well, he could have just said, "I took off the armor." It depends on the biometrics that were recorded beforehand, and if there is literally a flatline recording, or if it'll record a flatline even if you have the armor off.
Do you also generally get a huge spike of adrenaline before you're taking off the armor?
I mean, what if he's afraid of exposing himself?
I mean, it depends on the situation in which you're taking off the armor for. I can think of several reasons why you would have an adrenaline spike directly before taking off armor.
The helmet stays on though?
Yeah.
Plus data. Oh wow, you're on top of things. Thank you, Mimi. I think this could work.
So I
How the
got
fuck did I get so
no.
redundant so fast?
I've got no idea where the professor would fit in on all of these plans. He's
Yeah, so
very
far
much
we
out
would-
of his element.
So far, we don't have plans for Ricky and the professor. Supposedly, one of the two of you could go in with Pellet, if not both of you. He's probably going to need backup just in case something goes screwy. He could
I
just
look
call
pretty
you
bounty
guys.
hunter-ish.
So
Yeah,
to
you-
note from the GM, I don't have any plans on what you guys are doing here. I've planned what the situation is. My only contingency is if the donation goal happens. Other
What
than
is
that,
the nation goal? The hard way. No.
if that happens, obviously the plan changes. But apart from that, I'm leaving it entirely up to you guys. So go ham.
What would you like for me to do in this situation?
I mean, if me and Samimi are sneaking in, Pellet's going in with the prisoner, you guys could honestly just pose as additional hired hands. He did have hired help with him when he stormed the place. You could just be posing as other bounty hunters, maybe some sort of, I don't know, apprentice. I don't know if bounty hunters have apprentices.
I suppose they're just new bounty hunters.
Yeah. Taking the
Oh,
control.
why do I have 6 rakes available for skills?
Maybe because you didn't spend them on your last level up?
To increase your intelligence.
Oh,
'Cause if so,
yeah.
It goes retroactively. What level are you?
Level 5.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, we're all level 5.
I'm just making sure.
Until you finish this this current job, the
Oh!
successfully getting Scheme out of the prison is the trigger for 6.
Hell yeah. I know for a fact that Dusty was 1 level behind until 2 minutes before combat last time.
Yeah.
Well, so Benny's gonna go ahead and point out to Samimi, if we try and take the control room, we're gonna have to deal with some opposition. There's no way the control room's gonna be unmanned. So if we go in through the control room, we're gonna have to deal with someone. We're gonna have to take them out. I would prefer not to kill these guys because they're just doing their job.
What? You looked at me.
I did not, but okay.
Okay.
I mean, everyone. Let's try not to kill anyone here.
Hmm.
They're literally law enforcement. I mean, they're not actual police officers, but they have literally been hired by the police to get these guys. They're not bad people.
Hmm.
But if we go in through the controls, we're gonna have to deal with anyone in that control room, take them out, hopefully not kill them. Then we're gonna have to literally go through. It looks like there's a kitchen and then a mess hall, and then there's bathrooms. And then from there, we would have to come out into the main hall where it looks like there's another control panel. So there's probably someone else we'd have to take out. And then we'd have to go in through the front, through that little airlock. If we didn't decide to still go through the boiler room, which if we went through the boiler room anyways at that point, then there's literally no point to not go through the storage room, because the storage room into the boiler room is likely only going to have at most maintenance workers and maybe 2 or 3 guys, which will be easier to sneak around rather than probably the entire garrison who's going to be in the mess hall. Well, it's not going to be a garrison. It's probably going to be only like 5 or 6 guys, but either way, we don't need to mess with them. And if we decide not to go through the boiler room for some reason or another, there's another terminal right before the cells, probably for that interrogation room, which means there's another person we'd have to take out, which means literally we might as well go in guns blazing if we try to sneak in that way. If we're going to try and do this stealthy, like, we want to go through the storage room, then the boiler room, then through that little green pit thing, which I assume is going to be sewage, which isn't going to be pleasant, but I was just planning on climbing through the walls and ceiling. Cell controls might be on that central terminal, but it looks as though there are some wall panels outside the individual halls. So we might be able to splice open the cell doors from there. There is a door separating the central terminal from the cells. So there likely won't be a guard back there patrolling, because there really wouldn't need to be.
This is getting a little too technical. It's out of my field.
Well, this is why I volunteered to sneaking in while you guys just make some form of distraction up front, so that they're like, oh, hey, our attention's to the front now. Maybe on the front cameras instead of looking at the back.
I'm good at distraction.
Yeah, just don't. Again, please try not to kill anyone. We don't need to kill more people today.
I'd be okay with not killing. I just want the mission to go well. If it means if Scheme is in danger, then, and that's the only way, then I will. But I'll try not to.
Yeah, there might be someone monitoring cells. Maybe. Given how their security system and everything is laid out, the cells are literally in the back, so they might have all their attention on the front and other areas. I will need to figure out some way, and Professor Ricky, maybe you can actually help me with this. I will need some way to see where their security system can and can't see and what kind of security details they have. Otherwise, I'm just walking into this place, and when I open the front door, that could immediately set off an alarm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to need some sort of inside details on the security once we get there. Pellet would be good at making a distraction, potentially with a professor. Or Professor, you could assist Ricky with this system intelligence thing. I can try to sneak in with Samimi, and with our combined efforts, we should be able to dodge around their security. Both the human type, which is a little unpredictable, and the technological type, which is easily just an algorithm. And with that, we should be able to do this nice and clean.
I'm gonna be honest, about 90% of what you just said went in one ear and out the other.
All right, so TLDR, Ricky, I need you to tell me the system security so that I don't accidentally trigger something. Me and Samimi are going to sneak in. Pellet is going to go in with the prisoner and try and cause a bit of distraction, either by walking straight to the back and just like taking their eyes off the cameras, just to like say hello to the bounty hunter. Maybe walk him back.
I mean, we've said that before. We everything should go fine, and it didn't.
Yeah.
This time's gonna be different, though.
Yes.
The last
maybe-
time went pretty well.
But we should assume it's not going to be, and assume that everything's just gonna fall apart immediately.
Right. If
Contingency.
if things blow up, honestly, the best thing we can do is just try to regroup. And at that point, we're gonna have to try and blast our way through if we want this.
Yeah. My backup
Um,
plan is tuck Twitchy behind the shield and barrel out the front door.
Sounds good, honestly. And Professor, you can either choose to go with Pellet, posing as a bounty hunter, or you can try to assist Ricky with figuring out their security system so that we can have an easier time getting inside. Trank
Not a
rifles?
bad idea.
Do we have trank rifles? Is that a thing we have?
We got Needler.
I prefer something like a stun baton, maybe. Well, I mean, I don't know. Is there any operative weapon that is melee and stun?
I'm almost certain there is. Give me a moment.
I don't know all of the operator weapons, which I should be researching more. Because that's my class.
And Samimi is right that you guys do have access to UPVs and a fabricator on the ship.
There's a needler glove, I think. I know it's a needle pistol. Let's see. Heavy flame, heavy laser, heavy plasma. I'm looking for melee. Long arms. Small arms.
And we got Needler rifle.
Solarian, Whipple, Sniper. Special. I'm looking through all the weapons. I'm not finding a melee, which is unfortunate.
See, melee, advanced, shock, polarity, gauntlet, spark.
How did you find that?
Weapons, and go to the bottom. So melee, advanced, shock.
I see special and categorized.
Yeah, it's right below that.
I can't go below special and categorized. That's like the last thing.
What tab are you in?
I'm in the weapons. I go into items and then I clicked on weapons.
Okay. Yeah, no, go up. It's about midway down.
Midway to okay. Here we go. Melee advanced. Plasma, flame, disintegrator, cryo. Okay, it's below.
You went the wrong way.
No,
You went
I'm
exactly the wrong way.
I'm in the right area though. I know I'm in melee.
It's
now.
below
Melee
flame,
advanced
or it's
shock.
below plasma.
Shock. It's
Yeah.
shock, right? Okay.
Electro flail. Oh,
Ooh.
that's two-handed. There's a spark knife. That's an operative.
How can you tell if it's an operative weapon or not?
It says so inside the tags. Polarity gauntlet static. That's an operative. Polarized 1d4 polymer.
Where does it say in the tags? I don't see.
There
it is.
Open it up and
Special.
go to the bottom.
It's in the special. I got you.
Yeah.
Because I know operative weapons allow me to use my dex instead of my strength, which is something I learned only recently, which tells me I should actually be speccing Benny to use some of these melee weapons.
Yeah.
You can just stick with being a sniper if you want.
This is true, but I'm not going to be able to snipe everything forever. There are going to be times where I want to punch someone with a shocky glove.
Isn't that when you put the glove on the bullet?
What?
You put the shocky glove on a bullet, you put the bullet in the sniper rifle, and then you shoot them at range.
That is not how that works at all. If anything, I would put the glove over the front muzzle of the gun, but even then, the bullet would probably just pierce through the glove. If anything, I would have to make a 9mm glove, put it inside of a shell casing with powder. I'm sorry, not 9mm. That would be a horrible rifle.
Milliliter, hell yeah.
Millimeter, I said. Okay, so a .308 miniature glove. Put that in a casing. Chamber that into the gun. Fire it.
There's
hope
also
I
an
hit.
injection glove. It looks like an incapacitator. Man, I could have all these.
Where's the level 50 operator weapon? I need that.
The rule of you can only have items up to your level is still in place.
Oh.
Unless it's something specifically given by me, like the armor, which was actually level 6. You can only fabricate something up to your level.
And at any point we can state that an attack is being less than lethal, correct?
I believe any attack you can use the flat of the blade for melee. For ranged, I think you do need a specific weapon
Bless me.
because you can't
Bless
exactly make a bullet less lethal.
Right, yeah. I mean, you can make your shot less lethal by targeting non-vital areas.
But that doesn't do subdual damage.
I mean, this is true. I think the spark knife probably going to be best thing. It's powered. I'm confused on how that power works.
Just
Yeah,
means it uses battery.
Hard light hand reps are now in level.
Basically, hologram punching gloves, if I remember correctly, for those.
That just sounds dumb, and I love it. We can have industrial welders now, Ricky.
I've already got some of those going.
You literally just stated.
That stuff's cool. I saw I can have shotgun or shell knuckles now.
Cellular
Which is like
resonator gauntlet.
A power fist with shotgun shells.
I had a form of hand wraps in another campaign I was running, but that's not the same character. So
A fist with shotgun shell, so it's basically Yang from Ruby.
I think so, yeah. It's in basic melee too, which is dumb. Let's see. I think next level is the the shell knuckles. 3d4 bludgeoning. Hell yeah.
Tactical trident.
So while you guys are doing your shopping, what's happening at the icebox? What's the plans there?
Does everyone
Get in, get the person, get out, try not to die.
Well, Professor, I feel like you would have had a more detailed plan than that, but in theory, yes. I like Benny's plan.
Does everyone understand their roles?
Very well on my part.
Probably.
Twitchy, are you good with all this? I know it's a risk, but I got your back as much as I'm able.
Yeah, Twitchy's alright with it. Twitchy's gonna follow your lead. You know, he wants to help the scheme as much as you, so
So,
Well, if he wants to help Scheme, why isn't he offering any suggestions?
because he hasn't been here himself. He was meeting up with Pellet to basically go, help, I can't do anything.
So his version of scheming is just, I want to help Scheme, but I have no input.
He's a little schemed out.
He's a little schemed out. Okay.
His
Maybe
scheme
he's
was
used up-
So
corrupted.
his
used up all
entire
his schemes.
scheme was just to get Pellet. Okay.
Well,
I mean,
his last
he-
scheme.
His
His last
entire
scheme
plan
fell
was-
through.
Yeah, his entire plan was help.
Yeah.
maybe
His-
he just understands that my plans are superior, and that
His
should not
his
be
last
questioned.
scheme didn't work, so he's doubting his scheme.
Meanwhile, Benny is the king of scheme.
Maybe in one sense, but not another.
What do you mean, not another?
Scheme has no king.
Benny is the Kingston of scheme.
That would work.
Anywho.
Horrible.
But does everyone
Wait.
understand their roles?
Yeah.
Okay. That's Ricky. Pellet.
Much. I had already said so.
Okay. Void Cloak. Okay.
Yep.
Professor. What do you want to do? Because we basically got two options for you. We don't want to have more people sneaking because the more people we have sneaking, the bigger of a force we are. So do you want to go with Pellet to back him up, which is what I would probably recommend? Or do you want to stay with Ricky and help him hack into the system to try and detect security and hopefully shut it down?
I will accompany Pellet.
Okay. So everyone's got their roles. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Yes. Let's watch it all fall apart, right?
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, at this point, we just need to basically get non-lethal weapons if we think we'll need them. Also, exit strategies. If Ricky is detected trying to hack into the system, it will likely take them a second to try and track it back to him, and the place will kind of probably go on a little bit of an alert. If that happens, Pellet and Professor, you guys can try to aid. They're probably going to try and get you to the back to try and get the prisoner secure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do, Ricky. You get to be the guy on the radio behind the computers. Benny says as he's literally checking his scritter.
Sure, he gets a ping.
I literally have not moved the entire time, just sitting in the chair.
Yep. If Ricky gets found out, continue as normal. Try to hold back that system as long as possible. Pellet and Professor, you guys just try to distract the guards so that they don't go out to the ship to check it out. If Pellet and Professor are found out, Ricky, try and shut down as many of the doors as possible so that they can't get reinforcements.
That's the
and
plan.
Professor-
I'll keep the engines going too.
Yep. Pellet and Professor, you guys just get to the ship and take off without me and Samimi. If we are still stealthy, we will just sit tight, wait for things to calm down a bit, and then we can still stealth out with the prisoner. If stealth team is found out, we are going to need a quick evacuation. Ricky, I'm going to need you to get a path for us, and Pellet and Professor, we're going to need a distraction, potentially covering fire as we try and get back to the ship, regroup, and then we'll try and have to figure something out to try again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be taking in not an injector glove because that doesn't actually work with operator, which is kind of sad. I will be taking in though a where was it? Spark knife, recruit spark knife.
All right.
How much UPB do I need to make that?
Yeah, it's just its base cost.
So 3070. Do I have? Yeah, I do not have enough UPB to make that. Does anyone
Party
want to loan
should.
me? Yeah, does anyone want to loan me UPBs? I need 870.
I just used up all of them on some shot grenades.
According to my
Which I'm
system here, the
being-
party has about 12,000 UPBs.
Which I'm being
Toby
very
Kale
careful
can
about.
spare some.
Oh, Toby has some?
Yeah, I think they're all stored on Toby.
Yeah, Toby's
Okay.
got over 9,000.
That's weird. I only have 2,000 on me, but I just need 870, and that'll use up mine.
It's over 9,000!
Ugh.
Oh my god.
So how many did you need?
Just 870.
All right.
I've got the rest of myself. All right.
All right, subtracted them.
Well, I've got my non-lethal weapon. Rest of you guys, if you're all set to go, I don't know if you've got your weapons or not.
Professor's always got his cane.
All right. If that's a non-lethal weapon, Pellet, you know how to use a blade, so I'm pretty sure you understand how to smack someone with your pommel. Ricky, you won't even need to worry about attacking. I don't know if you want to
We'll
send
find
in.
out.
I don't know if you want to send in Eddie with Pellet or whatnot. I would request he not come in with me and Samimi, because again, that's just one more thing that could be spotted.
I mean, he can also just sit on your back the whole time.
He could, but then that makes me a bigger target, so to speak.
Mm.
I would have to hide more of myself. And keep in mind, most of my stealth is probably going to be based on crawling across the ceiling, so I don't need. Like, my back is basically going to be exposed, and if it's a giant orb, it might be noticeable.
Pellet's going to have the oh, what was it called? The item or the weapon he had just got, the Dashko. Dashko. He's gonna have that strapped to his back, but he's also gonna have his shuriken launcher primed in case it should be necessary. Beneath the armor, of course.
All right, are we all ready to pull this thing off then?
How'd I lose skill ranks? What the fuck?
Did you get dumber?
If you'll allow me to go grab a drink, I will be ready as soon as that is done.
That would be
Alright.
it. That's that -2. Alright, we're good.
Why are you at -2 intelligence?
Oh, he got
Fucked over by that taser.
Yeah, he got an
So
injury.
those hacking checks would have been up by 1, by the way. That would have been an 18 on that first one.
I mean, you got a nat 1 on the second one, so
Yeah, it still wouldn't have done it. The
Yeah.
DC was 30.
30.
All right.
I mean, this guy had some advanced tech, Ricky, like I said.
I'm telling you, it's just consumer bullshit.
Okay, Ricky, listen. The top
What?
brass likes to have their technology nice and tight and secure. A lot of this stuff isn't even code. Some of it is the actual hardware itself.
There we go. That sounds more like it.
I mean,
I better not be
that's-
rolling like this all fucking day. Oh, that's engineering. That's not computers. I'm an engineer now.
Why are you engineering? What are you doing?
I don't know.
He's rolling for the sake of rolling.
Oh, please, God. There we go. All right.
You got rid of the good roll now.
I'm warming up.
That's not how this works.
Yeah.
It's mathematical probability.
So maybe this person was more a private bounty hunter. So he doesn't exactly work for a larger group. He works individually, bringing in people, so anything he spends is him spending it on himself. Hence why he's got some pretty fancy gear.
I am back. And
Who are you
ready.
sensing motive on?
Myself.
And failing.
It's a
Ricky.
legit tactic, I guess.
Ricky, what are my motivations? Who am I? I don't know.
Retrospect.
Why am
Damn
I
it!
here?
Why
His
are
inner
you
reflections
here?
have not worked.
You don't know why you're here, Ricky, but you're still along for the party.
I do not know why I'm or who I am, where I am going, or what I must do.
Who
But I know that I must kill.
are you? Who?
I'm an owl.
Who are you?
Tell me you were watching Masked Singer as well.
Don't think I was.
But yeah.
So as you guys fly in, you will get contacted by the icebox. It is actually a semi-decent flight because this is in the Arctic regions of the planet.
You would think because of the pressure, wind pressure, it would be a little janky. Not that that would, like, you know, bother a spaceship, but still.
Oh no, when it comes to turbulence, it's nothing that your system can't handle.
So wait, we
we
still have...
I have set up a portable kind of terminal.
I
I'd
just
say
realized-
probably inside or just past one of the doors. So like if I need to, I can kind of poke my head out and see the kind of the exit ramp.
I just realized though, the tank is still in that ship.
Is it?
I'm willing to call you guys have taken the tank out beforehand if you'd like.
Oh, I was
Or
going
you
to
can, or
say.
you can be there. It's up to you.
I was gonna say if we go from Plan B to Plan Z, Plan Z.
Yeah,
is
that's the last plan.
Yeah, Plan Z is literally just take the tank out and hope they submit.
Just me I can break down the door. I can hit a door.
Just drive the tank out, point it towards the control tower over there, and say, "Let us in. We have a tank."
I am no longer asking for you to let my people out.
Like if everything goes wrong, that is the ultimate Plan Z.
Mm.
Then everyone will know we have that. And they can start preparing.
Okay, who is everyone? Some guys.
Anyone watching the news? This would probably make the news if we had a tank there.
I mean, then we just need to destroy all of their recording systems, because there's like the only record is going to be whatever their systems have.
Or whatever they radio in the meantime, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but besides other guys on this station, who exactly are they radioing? This is a private corp. This is a... I mean, they might have backup in another sector, but they'll just radio and say, they've got a tank, and then... Like, what's the news going to do with that? Oh, some unnamed, unknown individuals attacked with it, like... They're not going to know who we are. I'm going to be sneaking in the back, so they're not going to see my face, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know if any of you are so reputable that you can go somewhere and everyone's going to know your name.
Except that one bar.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
To answer Kamimi's news from Rim, it's very hard to connect that tank with you guys. So yes, there's talks of tanks, but there's talks of various violent actions across the entire galaxy.
To be fair, like, if people were going to start associating us with a tank, that probably would have already happened because I was already blackmailed. Well, actually, no, that didn't actually go out to the air, did it? Because you guys actually pay the blackmailer. I still say we go back to that system and give them what for, but that's
Okay, to give you an idea of how good Pellet's armor is, Pellet has the same armor class as the tank.
Bruh.
bruh. Bruh. Pellet, you are the party tank.
Okay.
Pellet, you are tank now. Go.
I'd like to thank my sword.
Question: what level is this armor?
6.
Wasn't
Level 6?
So does that mean I can't use it?
Oh, you can. As I said, my limitation is you guys can't buy or build anything above your level.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
Things that
pretty
I
sure that-
give the party is okay.
I'm pretty sure the tank is like level 15 or
it
something.
also has much better damage resistance, I imagine.
Oh, the tank does also have a damage reduction on top of it. So if you even
Yeah.
hit it, it's
But
still
isn't the tank-
reducing a significant amount.
Isn't the tank like level 15 though?
I think it was 16.
I would also
Yeah,
like
no,
to
it's
point out that
stupidly-
the tank has more health than Pellet, and if the tank hits you, it's going to hurt a lot more than Pellet hitting you.
Don't say that near Pellet.
Anyways,
make
can
me
we
jealous.
Well, it's not
See?
gonna.
Yeah, so
Pellet's
the
not gonna
tank
make
has
you
damage
jealous.
reduction of 20. So the first 20 points of damage that hit the tank is automatically knocked off.
Meaning you have to hit it with more than 20 points of damage to even scratch it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Okay, so phase 1.
All right. Well, let's begin landing. I believe, Jeffrey, you already said something about them hailing us.
Yep, so when you're about 20 miles out, you receive a ping from the icebox. It's requesting reason for visit and landing verification.
Away. Or should I? I should probably say it. They're expecting me.
Do I remember what the lizard guy's voice sounds like?
Pretty much you never really heard it clearly. It was always through the suit.
I mean,
I can recreate that. All
Yeah.
right.
In fact, if Pellet speaks through the suit, is it the same voice?
Basically.
Oh, yeah, that'll work too.
It's a vesk speaking through an automated, through an artificial filter. So, yeah.
Might as well do it. That's what they'll be expecting.
What?
Might as well do it, or I might as well. That's
Yeah,
what they'll be
it's probably
expecting.
for the best.
Got a bounty in tow. Requesting permission to land and deposit the goods.
They'll ask for you to transmit the bounty, which you guys did have a copy of from the initial encounter with him. You managed to recover Twitchy's bounty from there. So they'll ask you to transmit that to them.
Pellet will point at Ricky. He doesn't
Oh,
trust
yeah.
himself with it.
Yeah, no problem. I get that. I'll send over the bounty.
Yep, it gets sent over. All right, verification received. Cleared to land. And you'll see it's just a single pad. It seems to be built into the side of a glacier.
Hell yeah.
All you can see from the outside is the pad and the small glass control room.
That's
That's
fucking
all that's
rad.
visible from outside.
As we're coming down, I'll gesture to Ricky. Start seeing what you can do to get us some sort of tap into their security.
I'm playing it real light for now. Because the door isn't open yet. But
I mean, fair.
we'll get to it.
All right, but once this thing lands, me and Samimi are slipping out the back and going down that little access ladder.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So as you come in, you
Right
can
here.
see there is someone in the control tower.
What's the name of the map, or could you? Oh, never mind. I found it. I accidentally closed it.
That's alright. And from what you can see, you can actually see some details of the person inside.
That guy.
Oh, is
That-
this the? Oh,
Ooh.
look at that.
I like his armor.
It's fucking rad.
Give me a moment. I'm starting another Stream Raiders battle.
That's alright. You can even see he's got the security pass on him.
Oh, look at that. We gotta steal that pass.
Okay, yeah, that is cool.
Oh, looks like it's a multi-pass too.
Multi-pass?
Multi
Della-
pass.
What was the question?
I don't
What
know.
was the question?
But yes,
Jaffer.
that's what the guy inside the control room looks like.
Okay.
We must have the armor.
So you guys land. Ricky's staying in the ship. You guys, where is you going?
I'm going, trying to discreetly go for this back catch while the ship blocks main view.
All right. What's with the 5-foot circle at the back?
That's me highlighting that there's a access ladder there.
What? Oh yeah.
You see it?
Didn't I buy a laser Oh, I did not buy a laser microphone because that son of a bitch is expensive. Or did I?
You,
I did.
I'm
I
just
did buy one.
gonna go ahead. I'm gonna peek down there, make sure there's no security measures.
Not from what you can see.
No, slide on down.
The lower panel there seems to mostly be a less used walkway. You can see that the metal here is not as worn because it just doesn't have as much people using it.
And I assume this connects over to here?
Yes,
Okay.
it just swings underneath.
Yep. So, gesture to Samimi and start, kind of like crouch walking. Yeah,
Alright, at this stage you guys don't need to make a stealth roll.
I'm just holding control to sneak right now. Just get under there. Probably move up to here. Peek around to make sure there's no obvious cameras by the door or anything. Jaffer?
Not that you can see. Give me a moment.
Okay.
So we've got what is Pellet and the Professor doing, and also did we want Ricky to be making a computers roll?
Ricky will have Eddie point a laser microphone through one of the windows.
Forgot that I mounted the laser microphone onto Eddie.
The laser
Yep,
is not-
Eddie is able to listen in on the conversation of Guard 4 in the control tower. It's mostly pretty much anyone who comes within 20 miles. The guy just calls up and says, "Hey, what's going on? You're entering restricted airspace." A couple of times you'll hear him say, "Turn back now, or we will be forced to engage our countermeasures."
I'm going to basically ignore everything aside from if he mentions like, golly, the server is just being really slow today. Or if he's like, hey, did you order that the equipment that's supposed to replace our brand name model number server. I'm listening for any vulnerabilities basically. And also possibly early warning for, oh shit, I think someone's hacking in.
Alright, nothing yet.
Alright. He's going to play it calm right now and just listen. Get a feel for everything. Get his vibe going.
He's seems to just be on the job. Between calls, he's reading something. You can hear him flipping through the pages. He occasionally mutters to himself as he's reading something.
Alright. That's I'm doing. I'm waiting.
He's got a cup of hot cocoa on the dashboard right above the terminal. If you tip it over,
knock
you'll shut
that
down
over.
the entire security system.
Sparks.
That's not the security system. That's just the air traffic control room.
Fair enough, yeah.
No, it's all connected. It's the computer.
It would
As
be.
soon as I get the go ahead, I'm gonna get that way.
I'm
All
going
right.
to do a quick check for the cameras before on this last part of walkway, and then I'll give them the go ahead.
So we'll get you guys through the front door.
I just don't see any cameras at all.
You don't see any cameras. Give me a moment, and we'll give Ricky a chance to make a computer's roll to start his hacking if he's ready.
I think so.
I'm
So,
gonna sorry, proceed.
as they're going in, I'm going to crack my knuckles and get started. It looks like I'm playing the piano. But I'm being very slow at first. I just want to maybe a little tiny poke. I'm not brute forcing anything just yet. I'm not going insane.
Alright, and as you guys walk in, you'll see Guard 2 and the Warden. Inside, the Warden appears to be waiting for you.
Okay, I can actually play exactly what Ricky sounds like. It sounds like.
Lovely.
I'm gonna start looking at here we go. Access or authorization. Okay. Can't get rid of access. Alright. I'm gonna start going.
Alright, roll it.
Ooh, very nice.
Almost to 30.
Alright, that will give you enough to gain camera access.
Oh, wonderful. And I'm just like read only right now. I can't like turn various cameras off or like slowly.
You can't modify anything at the moment.
I can just see it all, kind
Yes, you have access to all the cameras.
of. All right, I'm gonna start getting acquainted, and just get an idea of exactly where everyone is.
Alright, everyone is now visible on the map.
All right.
Why are there cult initiates? Is there
Hey, Benny,
really?
I'm not seeing you on the cameras. Are you stuck somewhere?
Ricky, I'm not even inside yet.
Okay, well I'm just making sure.
Again,
And
this
if
one-
all goes smoothly, you shouldn't see me on the cameras.
That's the hope.
Alright, so most of the cameras are in the central area. So there's the central hallway. you can see quite clearly, obviously, each prison cell has multiple cameras. The interrogation room / holding room has cameras. They appear to be 1 or 2 cameras that you can see in the storage room, mostly looking at the main door. There's several cameras in the control room, but apart from that, there's no cameras in the guards' quarters, there's no cameras in their mess hall, and the water purification area is pretty much, it's dark, it's not even lights on in there.
Okay.
And there's no cameras.
There's one in the cargo hold though.
There's 2 in the cargo hold looking at the door.
Okay.
The main door, not the one you guys are coming in.
Gotcha.
Before
As far
Pellet
as
walks. What?
as far as I can tell, the supply room ahead of you, Benny, is open. Sorry, there's nobody in there. I don't think. Can't see anybody.
He's putting
There's
down
one
arrows
camera
where the.
There.
Swear to God, if it's pointing at the door from the other angle. Okay, I can work with
Okay.
that.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna shut up for a while
All right,
because
I'm
I'm
gonna
taking
try.
up way too much time.
I'm
Before
gonna try.
Pellet.
And... So maybe I'm gonna peek my head in there since there's a little airlock here, just in case there's someone outside the view of the camera. So I go ahead, I step inside the airlock, open that door, close it, then move to open the next door and just peek my head in ever so slightly. Do a quick scan around. Still sneaking, mind you.
For now, the camera facing the door is unable to see you. The one in the bottom corner there is being blocked by the containers in the middle of the room.
Alright. Then go ahead, step forward. There's no one in here.
Hey guys! I'm finally below 100 of these stupid spam messages.
Woo! Where are you getting spammed by?
Congratulations.
Here on Twitch, it was Tuesday, wasn't it, during Echoes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just got hundreds of these spam bots coming in with the same message. I'm pretty sure most of them were compromised Twitch accounts, you know, legitimate people that had their accounts stolen. Speaking of, guys, public service announcement here. Make sure you enable two-factor authentication. It really does a lot to protect your accounts. But yeah, so they were spamming both the stream chat as well as my PMs. And I've just been slowly going through them, reporting, blocking, and it's annoying. Anyways,
Yeah,
back
I've
to
got
the
a whole
game.
playlist going. Quiet heist music.
Ricky, what would you say about the cone of vision on these things are? Like a
They
full
could have
90
done better.
degrees,
I'd say
45
it's
degrees.
about 90, I'd say. Well, probably a little bit less. It's got most of the room on camera. That's what you're saying.
Right, yeah. Okay, Jaffer.
Yep.
The camera, I was going to say number 5, but they're all number 5. The camera to the bottom right of the storage room.
Yep.
Can it see that blue panel that's directly north of it?
The blue panel directly north?
Yes.
Yes, it will be able to see that.
So I'm guessing it
much
can
it-
also
it can
see...
From there, it can see pretty much all of the room.
So it can see me
'Cause-
right now.
No, it can't.
Okay,
The boxes in the middle are blocking line of sight.
gotcha. Is it at a downward angle?
Yes, it's pointing down.
Okay, so it can't see the ceiling.
No, it can't see the ceiling.
Can it
Alright.
see the panel in the lower left corner of the room?
The black one.
It'll be able to see you if you're standing on it, or if you're standing at it, but the actual panel itself will be mostly hidden.
Okay. So what Benny's gonna do is he's gonna use his lovely abilities. He's gonna get onto the wall, climb up onto the ceiling.
Is the camera at floor level, or is it like up in a corner?
It's sort of in the corner, pointing down, so it's not
Alright.
going to be able to see him that clearly. I'm not going to bother putting cameras in the back area. Pretty much if it's got the red, it's visible. There's enough cameras there that I'd be spending the entire session placing cameras.
Okay, gotcha.
But if I were like standing, say here, would any of those two cameras be able to see me right now?
No, so the camera in the corner can't see past the big central pile.
Okay.
All that is blocking line of sight, assuming you're staying low and trying to hide.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Benny's going high and going for the ceiling, where it's tilted down from being able to visibly see. So he's just going to like, da 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 na 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 na.
All right, and while that's happening, we'll swap back to Pellet and the Professor. As they enter, the Warden will have a bit of a grin on his face. We've caught the second one I see.
Every step is a step closer.
Yep.
Be assured, I'm going after the other one myself. No, that was a different job. Yeah.
There's one more. We don't yet have information on him. They haven't even given up who it is. So it's gonna be fun to interrogate this one. Last one didn't talk that much.
Well, that's unusual for this species.
Quite. They're normally not quite this loyal. For now, you can just put him in the hole, and he points to the room just off to the west, right next to you guys. There. That little circle. Saying you can stick him in there.
Pellet will examine it. I presume Twitchy would follow?
Yeah, Twitchy's following you as if he's a prisoner. It is literally just a simple 5 foot by 5 foot by 10 foot cell.
No. Pellet will examine it, try to detect if there's any mechanism in there that will move him or torture him or anything.
Nope. The only thing you can really see is there is a what looks to be a shower or a sprinkler head above. You're guessing this is probably a combination clean room / holding cell.
Turn and
It does not look pleasant, but it doesn't look like it's going to actively torture them.
Pellet will somewhat roughly, or it looks rough because it's a suit, but somewhat roughly grab Twitchy and nudge him inside,
All right.
cornering him.
Twitchy moves in. As Twitchy's inside, the security guard hits a button on the panel and the door closes. Point
Mind
the,
if-
Yep.
Do you mind if I interrogate the other prisoner myself? I'm very keen on getting a jump on this other bounty. And I've learned a few tricks with the Soki.
Well, I mean, technically we're not supposed to let you guys out in the back.
Come on,
If you
you
want to
trust
take
me.
a minor pay cut, I might be able to look the other way and let you have some time alone with him.
Well, it is a pay cut for For another bounty. Let me think on that. He'll for the moment he'll walk over to the wall and ponder. And
the warden is going to step over to here, open this door, and wait. Now you can tell he's clearly waiting for you. You're guessing this is probably where the where he would be doing the business of actually like giving you the credits.
right. Pellet will look at the professor without saying a word, just trying to communicate inquisitiveness.
Through a
All
helmet.
right.
The
While that's
professor's
happening-
going to connect to Pellet's mind.
Wait, that's a thing he can do?
He's got a magic item that lets him telepathically communicate.
Yep.
That's not creepy.
At least I'm 99% sure that I picked one up at some point.
I know you were talking with me about the item. If you forgot to add it to your sheet, that's something different, but I know that you were speaking to me about the item.
Oh, here it is. Mind Link Circlet. Yeah. So yeah, he's telepathically communicating.
Well, he'd have to start, otherwise Pellet wouldn't know he could talk.
Yes, what's up?
Oh, you know what? No, I'm not going to question it. Do you think I should do this? I mean, I don't mind taking the pay cut. Do you think it'll work?
The pay cut, if it's on the other job, then perhaps I would say yes.
I can cover it, but will this help or harm the plan, in your opinion?
I think getting the other one out of the holding cell they're in would definitely be an assistance.
Do you have any... I know this is a long shot, and I only just thought of it now. Do you have anything that could knock out electronics on you?
Great question. Yeah, Toby could.
I mean, Toby has an electric breath weapon. Electricity does not mix well with electronics.
Well, I mean, I've also
It does
got
not.
my remote hack. I have got so many different things.
Disclaimer: electricity works great with electronics, and overabundance of electricity does not work good with electronics.
Also, Wired, thank you very much for that donation. The donation goal has been completed.
Oh no! Oh no!
Thank you, Wired.
I don't
Alright.
know what it is, but I'm scared.
It's called the hard way.
Fuck.
I suppose we just made an easy way, so this is the natural counter.
All right. So the while you're here, the warden is still waiting for you.
It's decided he's going through with this. I've got it. Yeah, I'll take the cut.
All right.
I will say the method I have found involves this pet of mine over here.
All right. He'll the warden will step into the office.
Benny's
He'll
gonna radio
invite-
to Ricky.
He'll invite you guys in to so he can actually hand over the chips. Or the credits, in this case.
Ricky,
What? I'm busy.
can you put a recording and overlay on some of these cameras?
I don't have right access yet. Give me a sec.
Yep, I'll give Ricky another computer roll.
All
to
right,
try and
so
elevate access. So your
Si-
first roll was to gain access. Now it's to gain elevated access.
okay, so with my access, am I able to see, like, basically see the packets from the various devices in the network?
So you have what would be the equivalent of user access to their system.
Okay. My idea was, since he would open that door, I would have looked for something that got transmitted that was that door getting activated from that control station.
When it comes to the doors, it looks like the passes they wear on them. They don't even need to pull the pass out or tap it against anything. The door just scans and goes, "You have X pass, therefore you can get through."
No, I mean from opening or from closing the hole from the station.
Oh, that looks like it was just a button on there that's an open close door button. There are
Just
several other
like
controls in that
hardwired.
area.
Okay. I'll we're gonna see if I can't gain a little bit more elevated or a little bit more access.
So there's three levels. There's user, elevated, and admin. Admin gives you access to do pretty much anything. Elevated will give you access to do most actions, but things will be noticed.
Okay, we're gonna do elevated access.
Just for the record, Ricky will notice a particular rubber ducky very close to him.
What does that rubber ducky do?
It's the computer idol. Lets you have a
Oh yeah.
reroll. The
Do I have to take the
professor
second
left
one?
it for you.
25 will work.
Okay.
I'm guessing the DC from having access to getting more access to getting even more access, like, reduces depending on what level of access you already have.
No, so the
For
DC
the record,
is a set for the system. If you try and jump, then the DC goes up by 10 per system you jump. So if you want to go from nothing to admin, it's plus 20.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
For the record,
So,
you do get to re-roll and take the higher result.
take the higher. Okay, and I'm guessing that works once per day.
Yeah.
Sick nasty.
Save
All
it
right.
for admin. Save it for admin.
Yes, 25 will work. You have beaten the DC.
All right.
Still
So
don't know what it is, but you have beaten it.
with my limited or with my elevated access, can I real calmly just put a very short loop over the camera right next to Benny?
Yep. So with this
Alright.
access, you have the ability to move cameras, to change their orientation. You have what appears to be door controls.
But they're gonna notice if I get too angsty. Alright.
So you have door controls. You have access to the manifests, to the logs. You pretty much have access to everything. The thing is, if you start doing stuff, then other people in the system will notice.
Gotcha. I'm gonna loop that camera right by Benny for about 10 seconds.
Okay. I mean, the room, from what you can see there, the room has pretty much been static and still for hours, if not days.
Perfect. I could just put the still image up there for a little while. They won't notice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say to Benny, camera's done. 10 seconds.
All right, so make me move.
Even though it's
There
just
he
a
goes.
still image.
Yeah.
3
And then he
years
moves
from now,
to the
someone
door.
will look at it, it's like, didn't we move that box?
Does this door open? I assume yes.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that door opens.
Okay, and we're in complete
Especially
darkness
with-
now.
Yeah.
We
The
have
lights in
flashlights
this
here.
room aren't even on. There is still light from the machinery running. It's quite noisy in that room.
All right.
The large machine the large cylinder that you're near, that is a water purification.
Right.
The small one you're just running past now is heating. That appears to
Okay.
be that one there definitely does appear to be waste and septic. And then the one in the bottom left corner where Samimi is, that one is not solid waste, basically garbage destruction. There's
any of
a
these
An incinerator.
there's a mulcher in there. Yeah, and that sort of thing. It's designed to handle the other waste.
do any of these tie into that airlock? That's like directly next to this room.
The
No,
big-
none of these tie into that airlock.
Okay. Samimi. How do you feel about sticking back in here and maybe getting me a distraction if things get extra heated? It looks like we've got a lot of cameras on this final stretch, so I might need some sort of, I don't know, explosion maybe?
I have access to plumbing controls.
Yes. You have access to everything. You don't have administrator access. So other people, one, will be able to counter what you do,
Mhm.
and two, will notice what you do, and it'll be logged and everything. Whereas once you get admin, they can't stop you.
I'm gonna
I think
start.
the-
I'm not gonna activate anything at all. I'm just gonna start looking at what sort of options I have for rerouting sewage. And I'm just gonna
You
keep going at
try
that. I'm
and-
gonna stay quiet for a while.
So sewage can either be flooded back up the tube that it was thrown down, which is that sort of crawl space that you can see there. You can open the doors and let it flood into the engineering room, or you can make every tap in the place. Just you can turn the filtration off and have raw sewage come out of the taps.
My mind is awash with possibilities.
All right. So back to the warden. He will pull out from a small storage compartment in this room 20,000 in credits and put them on the table and says, 20% of the 20% of the 25 for the interview, and so that leaves 20,000 for you. If you'll follow me, we'll take you to the interrogation room where we'll have the prisoner brought to you. At that point, do you guys take money? Do you do anything, or do you just follow?
The professor will go in and gather up the money.
All right.
Sorry, mic was muted.
Oh,
That's all
okay.
right. You can add 20,000. Actually, let me put it on the party sheet. It's probably easier.
Not really. Unless we're splitting it, actively splitting it between everybody. Well, yeah, we would
this is
probably
kinda-
do that later, so yeah. So you can just
This
go
is-
ahead and distribute it.
I kind of dragged people in, so I don't mind paying it myself.
That's still 4,000 credits each, so
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, just making sure that was removed from or given to.
that was given to everyone.
Oh, I thought it was a pay cut.
Yeah. So
They took it from your bounty.
the bounty was 25,000 for Twitchy, and they're saying you'll take a 20% pay cut on Twitchy's bounty in order to have a interrogation scheme.
Okay, now I sound foolish for trying to take it all myself. I was trying to give it all myself.
It's okay. I knew what you meant. So the warden will then escort you guys into the airlock. Probably need to swap you to. And it really is a airlock design. So when you step in, the inner door is closed, and it doesn't open until the outer door is fully closed again. It's quite a good security measure to prevent people getting through. And Ricky, when you're seeing on the system, is the airlock requires authorization from both the inner control base, the inner control, and the outer control.
Fuck. No matter what, I need to gain admin access.
Yeah. Once you guys are through, the warden will bring you guys down to this interrogation room and say that if you'll step inside, he'll have Kaba brought to you.
Wonderful. I don't mind waiting right here.
All right. So inside the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys move around in there as you wish. He'll close the door. He'll then step up here and start speaking with the head prison guard. Ricky, give me a computers roll to go for admin.
All right. I start explaining my my thought process to the duck. Oh, hold on. How did? I don't suppose there's advantage, so we'll see what I roll. That's higher what I rolled last time. Do I
Yeah,
need to know if
that'll
I
do it.
succeeded to use the duck?
I'm willing to call that you don't need to use it.
Okay.
This game has so few rerolls. I'm happy enough for it to be that failed. Let me give it another try.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, mwah, look at all these options. Look at all these fun controls. Hmm.
Is one of those controls the ability to hear whatever they're talking about?
I bet you I can tap into their comm network. Can I tap into the comm network?
Yep.
The best part is it's all administrator, so unless you do something super sketchy, no one's going to question it either.
Nope. And they
So
might.
you hear the warden and the guard talking back and forth. The warden says this isn't the same guy we spoke with earlier. Troso is definitely not that polite, and would definitely have not accepted a pay cut. Something's not right here. One of the guards.
I'd like to
will
speak on the on our little comm net and say they're suspicious. Prepare Plan B.
have a plan
One of the
B?
guards at that lower station will hit a button, and you'll note the door that to the interrogation room has now been locked. This is what Ricky will notice, that the door is locked.
I'd like to
we
keep.
barely had a plan A.
I'm gonna keep the light on to indicate that it's locked, but I'm gonna unbolt it.
All right. And at this point, the warden will, I assume you're going to let him actually pass through doors that he should be able to.
Yeah.
Yep. So the warden will step to there and motion down to the prison guard below. Prison guard will then motion across to the other prison guard, and then move up and motion again. So they're obviously signaling each other that something's up.
Ah, shit.
No, don't worry, this is good.
Benny and Samimi, you guys stuck?
No, we're about to move up. I just need to check to make sure the sewage isn't overflowing so I can get through this door, climb around the walls, and get inside the shaft.
Yeah, so what you're crawling into is basically a large septic tank there.
Oh boy.
So is it?
Oh, that smells terrible.
Yeah, no, it does, which is why I'm climbing on the walls. Is there room for
Environmental
me to
controls,
move
people.
into? Is there room for me to move into the shaft?
Yes, you can get into the shaft, and you can even, if you're climbing the walls and ceiling, you can get in without touching any of the goop.
Lovely. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make my way down the shaft. I will be using that video feed though
Go for the eyes!
to wait for these guys to pass on.
And Samimi will do the door control for that, so that Ricky can keep his admin access a secret.
My brain's
What?
moving at
I know that was a
gigantic speeds right
game-breaking
now.
influence. I know that was a game-breaking influence that just came through, and I know what it is as well.
I don't know what it is.
Zim hasn't told me yet, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Uh-oh.
Well, what do you think it is?
I don't really want to give it away to the party yet, so I'll message it to you. Yep. That is exactly what it was. I may or may not have been told about it beforehand, or asked if I would be okay with it.
Oh god.
We still don't know the donation goal result.
Oh, this goes very well with the donation goal result. And well, the donation goal result was already starting with the guards being suspicious. At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Just remember what I put down my gender as inside my character sheet.
What did you put down your gender as?
Cool.
You know what? That's not wrong.
Main initiative. There we go. Watcha! Yo, we're on top of it.
It's going to be 18.5.
Wait.
The music's a bit loud, Zim.
Wait.
Why? Because it's overwhelming your music?
Yeah.
This is Ricky.
Yeah, but I gotta
Wait.
make sure that the viewers can actually hear it.
Wait, guys.
What?
The prisoners have initiatives too.
Oh boy. I'll just keep him in. Or... Ooh. Oh goodness.
What?
I have a devious idea. However, I know exactly how badly it'll slow everything down by.
Oh, at this point, you guys are there. You know, you're getting a little nervous at this point, and the power cuts out.
Oh!
The last thing Ricky sees on his system before his connection to the cameras dies is those orange energy fields for the prison cells flickering and dying.
Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck! I'm gonna try to get through. I'm gonna turn the transmitter up a little bit, and I'm going to send over the data net because I know they're in deep, and I was hijacking their antennas a little bit.
I
And
get something
I'm going to yell to them.
Our
Your
internal
door's not
communication-
actually locked.
Benny moves to like touch his comm and goes, "Samimi, what the fuck did you just do?"
I didn't do nothing. This time.
Really? Because you're the one in the generator room.
Go kick it. Get back
I'm in
on,
the-
because I can't see shit.
This is the sewer room, not the generator room. I don't know where the generator room is. I had this idea, but it's but I didn't even tell Ricky about it yet.
Wait, isn't that the
It-
generator? Or is that
The-
the
He
waste?
said that there was water purification, heat, and sewage, as well as waste disposal. I assume the generator would be in there as well. I assume.
No.
There could be an external generator.
It could be like geothermal.
Well, no, because we're on an iceberg. So,
Glacier.
yeah, right, I guess. But it would make sense for it to be external because then they could use the natural cool as a sort of like, coolant. to
The
its
power
natural-
is externally provided.
Right, yeah. That's what I thought.
Alright, so Prison Guard 4 is just going to be sitting there tapping at his controls, trying to figure out what's happening for the first turn.
Hey, who turned out the lights?
Oh god.
Basically, the Warden is going to be running back here and drawing his weapon. Then it gets us to some of the cultists. He's going to charge there. Let's reposition the guards so they're not in the middle of all four squares. Was an oopsie by me.
Just slamming with the riot shield.
Yeah, the cultist is going to be making an attack on the guard. Which one's that one? 8. There's 8. Oh wow, he's all the way down there. And he takes a solid wallop. I'm not even going to really be rolling for it because I don't want combat between NPCs to slow you guys down.
Thank you, dear God.
You know, that devious idea was me turning off all the jail cells all at once. So chat did it for me. Let's go.
I mean, that was half my plan. I was figuring that these guards were going to come out to try to help rough up Pellet, and we would just lock the cell block door behind them, send Benny in through the back door, fetch Sneak.
Alright, Ricky, you're up.
Whatever his name is.
Steam.
Slap my computer a
yeah.
few times just to make sure it's working before I
Oh yeah, your computer on the ship is working. You can see outside
lost
that
my
all
connection.
the lights
God.
have gone off.
God damn it! All right, I'm gonna stand up and start heading out towards the cargo ramp, and I'm going to plop in a few commands for Eddie to have him basically zoop out, try to figure out exactly like if there's like a solar panel on the roof or like if there's any exposed machinery that he can go like fiddle around with to get it back on. 'Cause I would like the power to be on.
Alright, give me an engineering roll,
For me or Eddie?
Eddie.
All right.
But
I mean,
you can make the roll using your skill.
Okay. What's his engineering skill? I know I added it to him. Oh no, it's perception acrobatics. Never mind. All right. Skills engineering. Ba.
Ooh, damn.
Alright, so as you open the hatch, Eddie's power seems to flicker for a moment before your modifying of it kicks in and keeps it afloat.
Fuck's sake! No, I can't even go out in there. God damn. Fuck. I'll look towards the tank. Maybe. That's fucking.
But whatever took out the power is obviously still active because it nearly took out Eddie the second you open the door. Zim's shot is shit because it's spaceship grade.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out, grab Eddie, and pull him back in. I'm just gonna toss him like on the floor and just yell over the comms.
He's still active. He flickered for a moment but recovered because he modified it.
And to get hardened and stuff, but I figure I'd just grab it. Anyways.
Yep.
I'm gonna yell over the comms. It's electromagnetic. I don't know if you can hear me. Fucking magnets, whatever. It's all environment shit.
Party
Hello?
can still hear you. Yeah, the party can still hear you, and you can still hear them.
All right,
The,
this might work to our
facility itself
advantage.
is also shielded.
This might work to our advantage. Distraction team. Now's a good time to make a distraction. I'm gonna try and get him out through the chaos.
Alright. Twitchy is stuck in a room.
No, he isn't.
There he is.
Oh, the
Oh.
guard's keeping him there.
Right, he's stuck
doesn't
in the,
wanna
the
leave.
box.
Oh
Yeah,
no, Twitchy. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Twitchy's stuck in the hole.
It's the fucking box. Yeah.
I'm
Gotta break mine
sorry,
at some point.
all the Yosoki look the same to me.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey!
You can't just say that.
They all have the same token!
So this guard is actually going to run down to about here. And he's going to be screaming for everyone to stay in their cells. Prisoners on lockdown, blah blah blah. Benny.
Benny's gonna sneak out at this point, and he's going to move to climb the wall and get onto the ceiling. In fact, he's probably gonna climb from there. He's gonna try and move basically into this area here as cover to try and maintain his sneak. Do I need a sneak roll for this, or am I stealth?
Yes,
roll?
you'll need to give me a stealth roll.
Okay, I didn't know if it was hectic enough that I didn't need one, but yeah. I mean, there's always in that one.
There is a negative that they'll be receiving on perception. That'll more than make it.
Yeah.
The DC was only 15. I didn't realize you were at plus 15.
Yeah, no, I just need to net one. So I could take 10.
You can't take 10 in a combat situation.
Fair,
but
yeah, no, you're
My
right. This is
hamster
combat.
getting
That's right.
antsy. If we be adventurers, let us adventure.
Oh, that's just mean, Wired.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I had to leave for a sec.
That is just me.
You're not sure where you found it, but there's when you grabbed Eddie and pulled him back in, you noticed on Eddie's camera for a moment that you have a magnet stuck to the back of your head.
What the fuck? Who fucking did this?
It's an Outer Space Foundation magnet.
God damn. I put it where I know for a fact Benny will see it.
You can't pull it off.
What do you mean?
It's stuck pretty tight to you. Give me a strength check.
It's a strong magnet. Ricky, a new conspiracy is forming.
Fuck you.
Nope, you can't pull it off.
The Outer Space Foundation, they're behind it. They're behind me.
I know for a fact that I can just turn the back of my head and Benny will say it, so. I guess I win.
That's if Benny looks at it. Also, it's actually if Benny hears it, so he can see it and be like, oh, okay. He has to audibly hear it.
But S, was Benny doing anything with his second action?
Not till that guard in front of me moved. I can actually hold an action. Can I hold my action to move once the guard moves up so that I can, like, skitter in behind him and then, like, move into the next cell?
Okay,
Like,
you do
can I-
notice that the prison guard and the cult killer at the end are fighting.
Right? I'm assuming prison guard 16 is going to go and help him.
That's basically the idea. You will notice that the cult killer does appear to have sort of energy blades coming out of his hands.
That's fucking awesome.
You slurring.
So yes, by looking at it, you're pretty sure that both of those guards together are probably going to get their ass kicked.
Okay.
In case that makes a difference.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to stealth through. I'm just basically when he moves up, I'll move up. So I'm basically going to like go from cover to cover, and then once they're both getting their ass handed to them, I'll probably climb over and then get scheme. But for now, I'll just hold an action. I guess my remaining action to do a movement once he moves past, say, here. Whoop.
All right.
Once he moves onto or past that square, I'm going to move up and skitter around the wall to get over into this place and maintain cover and stay hidden. Keep ghosting.
All right. Easy then.
Yep.
So,
We'll
scheme.
try. Oh, this is not. Ugh.
Yeah, sorry, because we're in initiative. Scheme is pretty much going to be holding there. Professor.
Hmm. Well, since the lights are all out and stuff, the professor's gonna at least try to go through the door.
Isn't Pellet standing in the way, sort of?
You can move through allied squares.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the
Is
door
it-
is actually unlocked.
Oh, what seems to be the, what seems to be going on here? Where'd the lights go? He does have a, lantern out.
Alright. The response from the warden would be, "What have you guys done? I know you guys aren't bounty hunters. What have you done to my base?"
Prithee, sir, but the torches are out.
Toby Cale moved as well.
Straight up, you just got visited
I
by
have done
a
nothing.
freaking baron.
My companion here would not have done anything either. You did have multiple cameras in that room that could see anything that we would have done. Irrefutable logic.
My logic is undeniable.
And Pellet.
Well, I reject your logic and substitute my own.
I reject your reality and substitute my own, I think is the line you're looking for.
That is the exact line, yes, but I am modifying it for my circumstances, so I reject your quote and substitute my own.
That's like 2 levels of substituting.
Alright. Pellet, you're up.
Pellet will storm out in front and confront the prison guard with accusations himself. I just took a cut for this. What's going on?
Again, the prison warden is gonna call out, "I know you're not Trosso. I know you ain't him. What are you doing here?"
Well, of course I. Who else would commission this very particular set of armor?
Is Pellet's audio still active?
As in the
Can the
voice
TACnet?
changer?
No, can the TACnet still hear what Pellet is saying, or did he go radio
Oh, yeah.
silent?
The TACnet, assuming you haven't specifically turned off listening to other people or the TACnet, I assume the party is always in communication with each other.
He did say earlier he was going radio silent, though, towards the beginning of this.
Well, I said I can still hear, but I won't be able to respond.
Okay, so we can't hear him, but he can hear us.
You
He
can
wasn't
probably
going
hear
to.
him through Zims, though.
No, he can. You can hear him. He just wasn't going to respond to you, as if he was talking to somebody in midair, invisible.
So he's...
Oh, that thing was
okay.
barely customized.
Yeah, Pellet's not going to respond to that, even though he hears it, because he's not. He's
Didn't
not. Go ahead.
Didn't Ricky say he was being too polite? Pellet, get mean.
Here, let me show you what I mean. I've got this handy feature. Only I would have this. Pellet will take off his suit glove, showing the mechanical hand beneath. Point it at the warden, and fire shurikens.
Yeah.
All right, make an attack.
Beautiful. Why do I hear attacking?
Wait, why am I out of ammo? I'm not. I'm never out of
Yeah,
ammo on
You
this.
had to add. Oh, you have room for 10 in there. I didn't install the second upgrade yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
The initial.
I'm also, the plan is the next time you guys do an upgrade on it, it'll change from just basically a shuriken storage to a shuriken launcher, where he'll get pretty much decent range on it. Because at the moment shurikens are too short range to really be useful. I mean, at point blank where you are now, it's fine.
So I.
Oh god, he is turning into Genji.
So am I out of ammo or am I not?
You're not. The system just tracking it wrong.
Okay. What do I do to change that?
Actions.
Having ammo means that the boxes are all empty.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
Cool.
I've changed it so you have 10 uses in it.
Wonderful.
So
Okay.
go ahead and give it another try.
I'm gonna move the map a bit so that I can actually drag it. There we go.
Oh.
That will miss, but if I remember correctly, don't shurikens let you make multiple attacks with a single shuriken? Oh, multiple
it's-
attacks with a single action?
It's also saying non-proficient. I thought I was proficient in it or something.
Their Fantasy Grounds is a bit finicky on proficiency. They tried to do a little too much automation with the game with this module. Just add a miscellaneous +4 modifier.
So that would be 14 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think we
Wait.
already have that on him,
No, if
Yeah,
it's a
look
plus
at you.
4,
because you've already got a miscellaneous +4 bonus on the shurikens.
Then you do already have it.
okay.
So the +7 is your proper modifier.
So it's the number is correct. Okay.
Unfortunately, that will miss.
Yep.
I suppose, but a miss in this case, you can do it as a look. This is what I've got, as opposed to actually making it an attack. You could try and explain it away.
Yeah. I could play it off that way.
Simimi's turn.
Am I here in combat? Why am I here in combat? What are you doing over there?
I don't know!
Simimi, you will notice that all the machines in here, the lights on them sort of just turn out, to turn off. So it does appear that all the power is just gone.
Guys, this isn't going to be good in about 10 minutes.
Guys, just
Why
stick to the
10
plan.
minutes?
Because the heat just went out.
Whatever, we can stay warm.
Stick to the plan. I'm close to the target. I'll be able to extract him soon. There's a bit of a brawl going on. One of the prisoners got fucking light blades or something. I don't know, but the
Oh man,
think-
stay safe.
yeah.
I
I'm
said that out loud.
I'm sticking out of sight.
Oh no.
Just keep a distraction going up there. I'm gonna be extracting the target soon.
I'm going to stop here because 40 will put me in that room and no.
Wait, what?
So only with that mysticism check, when you see what the cult killer has with those laser weapons, it's a solar weapon.
Oh no, 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 no. Oh wait, I can double move. 60, 70, 75, 80. Benny, that is bad news. That is really bad news. I'm on my way.
Listen, the guards are distracting him right now. I'm gonna be extracting the target soon.
Whoever's eating, we can hear you.
I just bumped the microphone.
Okay. Sounded like somebody eating.
He could probably make salsa out of anybody that's in next to him.
Right. Well, right now that's gonna be the guards. It looks like.
Alright, so that gang guy hits him. This security guard is going to move to there, do nothing else. He's going to swing back at the gang tough. Just now realizing he made a bad decision trying to fight the cult initiate. These guys, for now, will not be attacking the guards in the room you're with. He's gonna swing back at 25. I think it's the top of the initiative order. And then finally gang tough 25.
When is prison guard 16? Oh, he's not.
Well, prison guard 16 is also top of the initiative order. Was higher on the initiative order.
I gotcha.
35 hitting 16 is not going to do much. Right, then we loop back round for this stage is going to move to there. The warden is going to jump back because you just shot a shuriken past his head. He's going to raise his pistol at you. And he's going to order you both to back off and get your hands in the air. But at this stage is not doing anything beyond that. 25 hits 8. It's Killer's turn next, I think. Yep, he's up against 10. And he swings pretty hard. 10 does not look like he's in a good way. 28 is going to draw his pistol and aim at the party as well, following the warden's lead. And it's Ricky's turn again.
So this guy down here, number 4, what's he doing?
Looks like he's trying to get outside.
All right, is he having trouble with the door?
No, actually, he's just manually pulling them open.
All right.
1 sec. Sorry, back.
Fuck.
He's
Liking your free concert, guys.
Tank time.
ooh, tank.
And by that, I mean I'm getting in it. And I'm going to keep drone just outside, keeping a lookout, looking out that same porthole that he was using to spy on the guard earlier. He's going to keep a lookout on what he's doing, and I'm going to start getting in the tank.
All right.
Can I grab? I can't grab the square.
Give me a moment. I think I actually have like the tank token I made specifically for this.
I think they're. And what's it? Oh, ooh, I think I have it. That one?
No, that's not quite the tank image.
Okay.
I got the token here. That's a lot bigger than it should be. A lot smaller than it should be. How do I increase the token size? There we go.
Would I have any idea so far as to what might be causing this?
Using the sensors on the ship, there appears to be a large solar flare hitting the entire planet.
God damn it. How long do I think? Based on my experience with physical science, since it does severely impact radio transmissions.
Give me a roll then.
Spladam.
You're guessing a day or two.
God. All right. I'll just put myself over here.
Yeah, I was gonna put you in the ship. You're in the tank now, so that tank token is you.
Gotcha. I'm going to spend the rest of my turn just getting buckled in and reacquainting myself with actually how to start it. I'm just gonna say over the radio, getting ready for Plan Z.
What happened to Plan B? Why do we even have a plan?
Yeah, I thought it was Plan T.
No, it's Plan G for a gun.
I thought it was just T for tank.
That's, you see, they expect that. They hear over the radio Plan T. Oh, they definitely mean tank.
I'm resharing
keep
just for
guessing.
those interested. That is the tank. Because the hover tank as well, don't forget.
Alright. Tank, I'm gonna open up the stat block. Oh, okay, there it is.
If you want
I have the
stat
stat block.
for
It's in vehicles.
hover tank party.
Yep.
Got a specifically modified one for the party.
Gentlemen, I have successfully infiltrated New England and achieved their clam chowder.
That
Twitch,
put
you
in
and
the
me
voice
both.
of the voice of Master Chief.
Wait, what?
Colonel, I've infiltrated North Virginia, and I now have all of their clam. Don't quote me on that.
Did you say North Virginia?
Yeah.
Guard 16 just wipes out the gang tough and uses the rest of his movement to close in. That will trigger Benny's move action.
Oh yay! I still get it
The
triggered
prison
before my
guard-
turn.
The prison guard literally just clubbed the gang over the head with his stun baton and then just charged forward.
Beautiful.
The
Get it.
gang toughs are pretty much harmless.
It's the cult killer.
Oh, the cult killer is the scary one here, yes. He and the warden are the two big ones. And it's your turn, Benny.
All right. I'm going to carefully crawl over them as they are dealing with him on the ceiling, and I'm gonna like move over to Scheme and like tap him on the shoulder, like, hey.
He's Scheme is cowering. He's definitely much more scared of the killer than the guards.
Is he able to like notice Benny with me like tapping him?
Oh yeah, when you tap him, he'll jump a bit and look up at you. And seeing you climbing on the wall probably makes him a little more scared.
He moves. He does that single finger over the mouth, like shushing, and then he offers him an arm. He says, "Climb on."
Climb on if you want to live.
Go with you
All
if
right,
you want
he
to.
manages to climb up your arm and sort of clinging onto you a bit,
All right, and then
very tightly.
I don't know if I have any more actions. If I do, I would start climbing back up to the ceiling and climb out.
You can make it
Yep.
back to the cell that you started in, across the hallway again.
Okay, so back over here.
Scheme's turn is just going to be continuing to hold on. Professor.
Yeah.
The guards here are pointing their guns at you and
there's
saying, hands in the air, back up.
You see, there's a wonderful creature, native to my home planet,
Hands!
which is very effective at, lightning-based things. Now, Toby, if you would. And Toby breath.
Toby Chaos going to make his cone attack.
Babush. Babush.
Are they dead yet? Are they dead yet?
And Babush.
Made pretty good rolls there, actually.
Yeah. That's above average.
It's okay, I understand that he's terrible.
I mean,
do you
average is
mean?
9. All of those hit above average, so that's like,
Yeah.
pretty good.
That was good damage.
Yes.
Then the professor will make a shot with... this.
You actually had an
Against
average
which one?
polarity rifle.
Did I-
Attacking the warden, but yes, that will definitely hit.
It's a miracle, guys! I hit
note-
something!
As a note for Toby Keel, I just noticed this. He did 12 damage to each of the guards. It cost 3 of the guards. He has a 75% damage ratio of his max, like on average, right now. So he's hitting like a D or C. No, that's a C. Yeah,
What?
solid C. He's hitting a solid C on it. Okay, so his maximum is 18. He hit 12, 13, and 11, which is an average of 12 per guard. And you just take the 1 from the 13 and put on the 11, 12, 12, 12. Which is 75% of his maximum damage capacity.
Hey, Benny? Would you stop driving my brain cells to suicide?
It's just math.
It is. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. It's 66.66666%.
Yeah.
Pellet's turn.
Which is not a passing grade, I'm afraid.
Toby
The,
Chaos just stepped up and burninated everyone.
Okay, so they're definitely not friendly right now.
Oh no, Toby Chaos just breathed electricity all over them.
Yeah, this is not a time to play off. Yeah. It's time for the Doshko.
Alright, I think we added it to your party sheet, didn't we? To your character sheet?
It's on the character sheet. I don't have it in my weapons for the dragging roll yet, though.
Did you have it marked as equipped?
I'm checking now. Okay, now I do.
Alright.
Yep, there it is.
Assuming you're attacking the head guard in front of you?
The head prison guard, yeah, let's... I'm gonna come at them from the opposite side. Prison guard 28.
Alright. If you're making movement, I'll let you make a full movement all the way around to there if you'd like to move around. Because that is a raised platform they're on.
I will do that. Ooh.
Alright. That is most definitely going to be hitting.
Wonderful. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of text on this one. It's a good weapon. Okay.
Who'd you hit there? 28. Guard 28. There's guard 28. That does finish him off. Boy.
Boo-boo. Just a friendly reminder from everyone's favorite bunny, please try not to kill anyone.
Too late. Samimi. You up.
Okay. And if I can stop clicking to drag, I could click to drag. I can make it to here.
Oh. Moved down the wrong pipe.
Actually, I'm gonna make it to here, and then I'm gonna throw a hollow grenade Mark II at this junction up here, and have it project an image of that grate still being closed over where the grate should be.
Alright.
And that should last 6 rounds.
Alrighty. And you weren't going to make any more movement or do anything else? No. Tough 8 and Colt 28 are going to have a nice little beef where the gang gets beaten by the cultist. This prison guard is going to stay there. The head prison guard is going to take a swim with his baton against Pellet. Okay, I wasn't expecting to hit. I also wasn't expecting to get a natural 1 on his first swing.
Hell, yeah.
Can I get a critical miss card? For
Glorious.
melee bludgeoning.
I suppose I might be able to dig out that deck and draw a card, and then
I don't
request
think I've had a
what
single
exactly
game where
what.
I haven't rolled a 1 as a GM.
And then I'd need to request exactly what it was that you wanted for.
Melee bludgeoning. Kinetic.
Head meat wall. You are staggered and off target for 1d4 rounds.
So he pulls out the bat and goes to swing at you, and just bounces off the armor. Like he hits his head against your armor, and you barely feel it. Was not a pleasant feeling for him.
That reverberation in the wrists, though.
Alright, we'll look back round. This guy is going to exit, and he's going to make it down round to about there. He's obviously, you can tell he's going to be going for the ladder. Alright, the warden is going to take a shot at Pellet. Turn around and take a swing. And that's a miss. I am not surprised. Five is going to go for 8. And that will actually almost kill him. He is really hurt now. Oops.
Pardon me? Jaffer, can I make a quick request?
Yeah, what's up?
Could you share with us the armor that Pellet is wearing again?
Give me a moment.
I'll find it first.
Linked.
Ah, goddamn.
I meant the picture.
Um, did I actually put that in the...
Oh, I found it. Yeah. Fuck, I don't own it. It's at the bottom. Vesk bounty.
Yeah, Vesk bounty.
Oh, is that image? Okay. There we go.
Now.
I found it first, though.
Okay, now, Ricky, could you please take this image, copy, paste it, put it into some sort of image editor, and then give the eyes a red tint, give it a radial blur up to 50%,
Yeah, no problem, bud.
and then we'll just put the text Pellet right now.
Hold on.
This is important.
This is going to be a little bit cropped.
That's
Actually,
fine. This is
We'll do very
important.
cropped. We'll do
This
just
is-
the head.
This is so important. I had to interrupt combat.
So the cult killer will take out the security guard that he was attacking, literally ripping him apart in the process. Ricky, you're up.
All right. So
You're
is there a door, kind of right to the south of the ladder?
Have you seen the professor's ship?
I do not have a. Let me see. Oh, there's like big doors on the side.
Yeah. Let me share it.
So I'm going
It
to.
actually has a total of 5 doors on the lower deck.
Yeah, it's fucking a lot. I'm going to have the tank kind of sidle up here, because I've had Eddie kind of keeping a lookout. I'm going to sit right here, point the. This might not be such a great idea. I'm gonna point the turret at the ladder, and I'm just gonna wait with the door open.
All right.
He's not going to fire when somebody gets close, but something else is gonna happen, and that is going to be actually before that. I'm gonna say, let me know when you need the main door open.
Ricky's not going to fire, but something else is going to happen. What that something else is that guard number 4 is going to shit his pants.
He's gonna honk the horn.
I'm guessing there's a PA system, right?
There is.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, let's see if I remember how to do any of this.
The first time Samimi used it, she just said run.
All right, Benny, you're up. That cult killer and that prison guard. You think that prison guard has maybe 16? Yeah, he has maybe 1 round left in him.
All right.
Before he's turned into mincemeat.
I try to move my basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I try to get Scheme off of me to drop him to the ground, and I just tell him to run. And I point him to the grate
All right.
so that he can still
I'll,
move on his turn, hopefully.
Yep, he'll drop off you. That's only half of your turn because that's just the movement. What else are you doing?
Okay, well then I'll take my second turn and do another movement, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, actually, if I can keep carrying him I'm going to carry him all the way there, and then I'm going to let him down, and then I'm going to tell him to run and point to Samimi.
All right.
I thought letting him down to let him have movement was going to take up an action or something, but no, okay.
No. And he runs to Samimi. Professor's turn.
I just shadow inside the hollow break. Target acquired.
And all these damn images to frickin' move out of the way.
I'm
Why
sorry,
did you
I'm
leave
trying
them
to
in the way?
I'm trying to give people the option to actually see stuff they want. You can close them if you like.
Love you.
I did. Alright, polarity rifle. Wait, what?
Critical hit.
Wub, 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 wub.
Well,
Okay, now I know that I'm still asleep.
Yeah, normally we get crits if you leave the room.
Well then.
What's like what's a word? Hold on. What's a word for a really, really big pellet?
Boulder.
capsule?
No, you call it a pebble.
A capsule?
A blunderbuss.
No. Influence denied.
My hamster
Oh,
is getting
wow.
antsy. If we be adventurers, let us
Influence is
adventure.
already denied. Alright. Thank you. Energy, ground blast, crit effect, attempt a trip combat maneuver at the same attack bonus, regardless of range, against the target and any foe adjacent to it.
Wait, what?
Basically, I get to trip both of them.
Huh.
And roll damage against the other one as well, because it's an electric weapon. It arcs on a critical.
I don't know if this one actually has that arcing.
Polarity rifle?
Instead, it's
Should.
got this polarized thing.
There we go.
The hell is polarize? There are so many frickin' weapon effects in this stupid game.
Hell yeah,
I
dude.
enjoy this game, but god damn it, what the hell do these do? Okay, that doesn't help me. Google! Google! Polarize.
Pull up the core rulebook.
Alright, it's in Echo's chat now.
Why is it in Echo's chat?
Oh, sorry, not Echo's chat. Retrograde chat.
A weapon with the polarized special property briefly builds up a polarized charge in a target. When striking a target multiple times with a weapon with the polarized special property in the same round, damage from each such strike after the first is increased by the listed amount. Oh, so that's... okay, that's good to know. That's not a crit effect, though. Oh, there is no crit effect on this. Much as I would like it if there were, but...
Well, it does do electrical damage according to Fantasy Grounds, so it could still do arcing as a crit effect.
As
So,
far as
weapons
tripping
that arc
goes,
have the arcing crit effect.
it's supposed to have the same bonus, so I guess that's my trip attempt.
Oh no, you succeeded. They both have low enough saves that yeah, they're tripped.
Cool! The professor was useful. Meanwhile, Toby Kale. Wha-bam! Guessing that
The
misses.
warden, that is a miss. Yes.
Okay. I knew the game would
Only
catch
just-
up to me eventually.
It is only just a miss though, because they are prone, so their armor classes are less.
Okay.
So it was just a miss. Pellet.
It is me. I'm going to brandish the Doshko at the prison warden and say, "Do you mind opening the hole. Wait. Hold that thought.
Power's up.
This hasn't quite occurred to Pellet that he can't open the hole. As he's saying this, Pellet's gonna spot the guard waiting outside the hole and think, no, that's a bad idea.
You can't see down there to him.
Oh, okay.
The airlock doors are closed.
Okay, in that case, he's not gonna realize it's mistaken. He's going to say it after all.
The warden will sort of stammer out a little bit that the controls are only accessible from the outside console.
Then I suggest you get outside.
Alright, I'm assuming that's your turn.
Okay.
No, and if you wanted to do anything else, let me know.
Giving him a chance to respond. I guess that'll come around when it's his turn.
Well, hear you loud and clear. Me and Samini are making our way out. We can hit that control panel for you. Wait, the power's out.
Pellet rolling his eyes.
Pellet will hear all this, but say nothing.
Grab my tail. Don't get cut on the blade.
Pellet, you might need to extract through the vent back here. Unless you can force those doors open.
To move? Yes, I heard you say grab the tail, don't get cut on the blade.
And there's what 40 feet of movement buys me if I do 2 move actions.
Alright. Scheme is sort of just getting pulled through through this encounter, isn't he?
You gross. I'm gonna need 10 baths.
As you do pull him through, you will notice that Scheme also has the Warren tattoo on him, because he doesn't exactly have any armor or anything to cover it up right now.
Nice. We're gonna have to catch up later. As previously stated, Samimi's is literally at the base of his tail, so not like it's gonna be hard to miss. Although we're in the dark, so maybe.
$28. You're running out. I think that'll probably kill 8. Oh yeah, so that'll kill guard 8. Head prison guard is going to stand up on his turn. This will provoke an attack of opportunity from both Toby Kale and Pellet.
I will take that.
Ricky, what the hell are you doing?
Does Toby Kale want to go first? He's technically closer.
Sorry, what?
Toby Kale gets an attack of opportunity against the head prison guard.
Sure.
It seems that every time you play, either you or Toby miss everything.
Yeah.
Looks like it's Toby's turn today.
Yep.
He got the breath attack. He's fine.
Well, you literally can't miss with that.
Pellet, your turn to make the attack of opportunity. Show Toby Kale how it's actually done.
With pleasure, hopefully.
Pellet intensifies.
This is the head prison guard, right?
What did I name the
Yes.
picture? Oh. That's what I named it. I named it Lizard Sounds Climax.
What?
Yeah, it's in the Discord
Yes,
channel.
that is.
Oh, I didn't have it open. I
Oh.
see it. Okay, damage.
Lizard.
Yeah, that hurt with him getting up. In response, he is going to take a swing back at you.
Fair, I respect that.
Oh god, that's beautiful.
Nope. What is your KAC? 30?
It's 30, yes.
Okay. So with his bonus of +6, he needs a natural 20 just to hit you.
They see me rolling.
He has a chance.
Raven.
That's assuming you don't actually put up your shield, because if you actively shield against, your shield lets you actively shield against one target to gain an additional armor class on top.
No, I don't feel like
I mean,
need
if
that
he
right now.
shielded, then it would still be the same chance to hit of a nat 20.
How much?
True.
How much AC does he need to have for even on a nat 20 it doesn't hit?
A nat 20 will always hit, but a second nat 20 won't confirm a critical. So Pellet is effectively immune to NPC criticals.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
So wait, they need 120 to hit, and they need 2 net 20s to do a critical.
They would need 2 natural 20s in a row. Oh, no. So when an NPC does a crit, they
You
then
roll
have to make a
confirm.
second attack to see if they hit.
Right.
If the second attack is a hit, it's a confirmed critical. If it's
Right.
not, then it's just a
Just a
normal hit.
Okay.
Same with the party with critical misses. If you roll a natural 1, you then need to roll again to see if it's a critical miss or a miss.
Gotcha.
Because players are always subject to more critical hits and critical misses than NPCs, you guys get confirmations, whereas NPCs just take the roll.
Okay.
So, do we still have a risk of a critical existence failure?
No, if you can't roll multiple 1s or multiple 20s in a row and have things just not work. The only thing in this game that I'm aware of that's a critical existence failure would be that decapitation critical card.
Or anything to which the chunky salsa rule applies?
Oh yeah, but once you get to chunky salsa, it's... yeah.
What's
Speaking of chunky salsa, the guard is trying to climb up the ladder.
I wait until he's like poked out the end of it. Does he see me?
He does.
Okay. Does he stop?
He is sort of... He takes an extra step because he was moving really fast, but he definitely sort of stops once he realizes there's a tank pointing at me.
I'm gonna let that emotion sit for like maybe a second or two, and I'm gonna say, "How about you not?"
And he's gonna back down the ladder.
It's all booby trapped anyway. Don't try anything. Oh, he doesn't move yet. Okay.
Warden will get up, and this will provoke an attack of opportunity for those who want to take it. Toby and Pellet.
Pellet will leave him be. He's still waiting on his response from the challenge.
And will Toby take the AO?
Yeah. Why
course.
not? On the prison warden?
Yep.
Oh.
Ooh!
Okay, go ahead and roll me damage. Oh, and the critical card.
already
Quick
folded.
question: is the prison warden holding anything?
Yes,
Excellent.
he's holding multiple things.
Alright, so first off, this would be energy, so Impressive Blast. Bonus effect, you gain a +2 morale bonus to saving throws against the target's effects for 1d4 rounds. I don't think that's going to be much of a impact, but... Extreme Melee.
He has a flash grenade, but I don't think he was going to use it.
Extreme Melee. Keep Away. Bonus effect. You take one piece of the target's drawn or held equipment. And it just feels so perfect for him.
Toby Kale grabs the shield.
Sweet. Also, there's that.
Yeah, Toby Kale grabs the shield and nearly breaks the guy's arm, ripping it off.
Well, I guess
And
he's
knocks
not.
him back down.
I guess he's not opening that thing. We'll figure out a way.
And yeah, he's back to prone again.
He's like, let me stand up. Ah! Ah!
Moment you realized he f***ed up.
Yeah. Right. He's gonna come. You see from the upper door, Benny. You see a someone who's a little bit crazy in his eye. He comes running out. He appears to be carrying the baton of the security guard that was down that corridor, as well as a shank in the other hand.
Pellet?
No, this is Benny that sees it.
No, yeah, no. Benny, like, puts a finger to his ear and very quietly says, Pellet?
Well, Pellet doesn't care about talking in front of these people anymore. Yep.
You're gonna have company real soon.
It'll be my pleasure.
Can I get a stealth check from Benny?
This is not the pleasurable kind of company. Do I have a bonus for being behind a hollow grate?
He gets a negative to his spot.
Okay. Stealth. Plus 15! Oh, 33. You hate to see it.
And you love to see it. And if you
And you
roll
f***ing
bad,
don't.
Come on.
Okay, let me rephrase that. You don't see it.
The cult killer turns guard 16 into Swiss cheese. And then he runs to there. I'll give you the same roll, so you don't need to roll a second stealth. Oh dear.
See natural 20?
He looks at the grate for a moment, sort of tilts his head, and then looks back down the corridor.
Benny has that, like, brief moment of, like, not out loud, of course, but just like that sweat drips down forehead.
Ricky, you're up again.
I ram the gate. When in my life will I ever have the opportunity to do this?
Tank, meet door.
Yep. I'm keeping Eddie by the doorway to look over the guy at the ladder. If he tries anything, if he like tries to toss a pebble at him, I'm gonna shoot him with the little zappy. But I'm going in. How much
Alright.
room do I have left? Oh, I should probably know that.
Oh,
Speed
tank?
65 mile per hour hover, 40 feet. Fuck, I might
Yeah,
not.
so standard movement is 40 feet, but if you do a full movement, that changes to 550 feet.
Could probably do a full movement.
So a full movement is a straight line. Basically, this is the difference between maneuvering it and just going full throttle.
And just hitting the gas. So I make it through this door, I assume. How much damage do I do towards to the tank?
Give me a moment. There is actually rules
There's
for
collision
ramming.
attack. Ooh.
Yes. You specifically have a collision attack on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
16d10 bludgeoning.
Yeah. Can you roll me 16d10?
Oh yes, sir, I can.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here and say it
8,
tank
9,
wins.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, good lord.
87 damage. Out of 16 of those dice, only one is a 1 and only one is a 10.
So out of that, you actually won't make it through the door.
Fuck.
Everyone feels the entire base shake. And this huge thunk just echoes.
Right after that, there's a very, very tiny, like almost meek little beep, 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 beep.
As he's coming in for the second one.
Yep, I'm backing up.
The door looks damaged.
Does anybody ask actually what the fuck that
Oh.
was on the radio?
Oh yeah,
The
Benny's
door
gonna
had
like.
attack. The door is pretty bad shape. I mean, it has hardness, so it has damage reduction.
Just about
It
got
has
it.
a second one should. In fact, statistically, a second one will get through unless you roll a lot of ones.
So roll really bad.
It's guaranteed to
figure.
make it through.
What was Benny gonna say?
Benny, like, once this guy clears out, once Cult Killer clears out, actually he's gonna, let's see. These guys have to extract via his entry point, because those powered doors are now powered down, so they can't get through them, I assume. So Benny's just gonna stick in the grate. And he's can I hold my turn, or is that's something I do at initiative, isn't it?
Yeah, you can delay. Delay
Okay.
means you just state when you want to jump back in, and your initiative changes to that number.
Okay. I'm going to delay until right after Cult Killer, so basically I'm basically
after
waiting
or
till
right
next
before.
right after, because I want him
Alright.
to move away from that grate.
All right. So, Cult Killer is at initiative 20. You're at 16. There are no hostiles between you and the Cult Killer.
Right. So
You can do a readied action for if the Cult Killer comes closer. You can take a shot.
I'm gonna do a ready to action. Can I ready 2 actions? And say if the Cult Killer even moves towards the grate, I'm just gonna fucking book it.
Okay. Yeah, you can ready a full movement as an action.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Scheme
yeah,
is hanging
if-
on to
if-
Void Cloak.
If the
Yep.
Cult Killer specifically with the frickin' laser swords, the other ones I'm fine with, but if he starts coming at me, if he makes that 5-foot step, I'm gone. I run.
So think of them more as laser wolverines.
I don't care what
Oh,
they are.
hell
They
yeah, dude.
sound horrifying, and I want nothing to do with them.
Sound radical.
Anywho,
Scheme is just hanging on to Void Cloak at this point. Professor, you're up again.
So they're both down. No, wait, one of them got up.
No, the head prison guard managed to stand up.
Well then, not that. This. God damn it.
That will hit the head prison guard.
Oh hey!
they have really bad AC.
Their AC comes from their shield. When you guys knocked him down, they automatically dropped what they were carrying. He decided to pick up his weapon with him as opposed to his shield.
So that fancy armor is actually worthless.
Well,
The armor itself is pretty bad.
so Toby Kale's keeping the shield in his mouth and attacking with his claws still.
That's a hit.
It's pretty sad though, because that armor looks great.
So the armor is designed to look impressive because they're at they're guarding prisoners.
Right.
If the prisoners
there.
think it's scary,
Yeah. It's a show of force, not a actual force.
yeah, it's like stormtrooper armor.
Stormtrooper armor isn't scary. If anything, it makes them look like they can't shoot straight. But I suppose, you know...
At the same time, it doesn't offer much protection.
Yes, it does not. But then again, most armors don't in Star Wars.
All right, well, I'm done.
Did you know that stormtroopers are actually wonderful shots?
Pellet, you're up again. They're more accurate than sand people.
Pellet knows there's only one direction company could be coming from, and which direction Benny was at anyhow. So he's gonna wait and prepare an action right around the corner here. Well, yeah, he'll be kind of like just off it, holding the Doshko straight out in front of him.
So you can't get through that door. That door is currently sealed.
Okay. I would know these things, I suppose, if I were
Yes,
paying
sorry.
more attention.
Well, that door is sealed too. Okay. Oh, these guys. You guys are kind of a little screwed. Not gonna lie.
I guess he's gonna finish off the warden at this point. He's outlived usefulness, and it's likely to be a detriment if he keeps him alive.
All right.
Friendly reminder: try not to kill anyone.
It's a bit late.
The party has only killed one person. The riding prisoners have killed a few guards and other prisoners.
I know, but like, I'm trying to keep our kill count at 1, please. Thank you.
Pellet will
You
take
can
the
blame-
admonishment, the reminder.
Blame it on the prisoners.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
There's quite a few guards dying here already.
Pellet will glare at both of these, and he will try to investigate the airlock instead, and try to get through if he can to get to Twitchy.
With all the power off, there is no way you can know to open this door.
He's gonna grunt and punch it, and be very frustrated.
Alright, give me a damage roll. If you beat 10, you put a decent dent. It has 10 hardness, so 10 damage reduction.
Okay. Where do I have unarmed strike or anything like that?
Does his armor give him any damage bonus?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
How do I?
Unarmed strike is a 1d3. You add your strength.
Okay.
Yeah, the armor changes it to 1d10.
1d10 coming up.
Plus strength mod.
Do you actually have a decent chance of putting a dent in it?
So the doors have hardness 10, 100 hit points.
Not that
Keep
that
punching
doesn't
it.
do much.
Punch it, punch it, punch it, punch it.
Oh no, sorry, the internals are 10 and 5 and 50 hit points. The big external one is 10 and 100 hit points. Which is why the tank didn't quite go through, it did 77 damage to it.
That's a hefty, hefty tank.
D10 plus 4 modifier. I figured out how to do that again.
Oh.
Alright, it goes clunk, but you don't. You scratch the pane a little, but don't really put a dent in the door.
We should ask about a manual release. There's got to be one. Interstellar standards. Doors need manual releases. Even
Point.
ship doors have manual releases.
Good point. I should know that.
It's Simimi's turn.
Speaking of, just enough to get through that door.
You probably noticed that the front door is just buckled inwards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
When you see the front door, it has a huge big dent in it. You think you might be able to see some bits of daylight outside.
Voidcloak,
The
that's the
security guard-
exact sound that I'm looking up right now.
The guard isn't even looking at you.
I figured it was.
The guard doesn't even notice you step out the door at the back there. He's fixed on the big main door.
Mind thrust.
That's
I-
not wholesome.
I didn't expect that from you.
Yeah, normally that's Benny's kind of thing.
Prison guard 2. Still doesn't even notice you. He is so transfixed the fact that the door just exploded. He sort of takes a step back and sort of half takes cover.
I guess it helps in that regard that that was psychic damage.
This hurts my brain.
Alright, the prison guard is going to take a swing at Toby. And will hit.
I'd like to press my nope button.
For maximum damage.
Nope.
A whole 11.
Nope.
He yells at it, "Give me that back!" as he tries to also grab the shield at the same time. Not doing a particularly good job of it. That security guard is now considered neutral because he's just hiding. Prison warden at this stage is actually going to take a 5-foot step while remaining prone.
Wait,
And
which
that's going to be
prison
his
guard
whole
is-
turn. Initiate going to step up to there. And Colt Killer is going to move a lot faster than you thought you could see someone move. He's going to run straight up. And the Professor and Pellet will see a series of sharp laser blades stab straight through the door.
That's not good.
They're headed right for you. Guys, you gotta get out of there.
I'm trying.
And you can see it puts a decent hole in the door already. You guess the door has maybe 2 or 3 turns. Ricky, you're up.
That might be a good time to have the guards go, huh, well, good luck, guards. That's your problem. Bye.
I believe this is the time in which the sound effect would play. I go. Full speed. Would I
Gotta
have a
fix-
reaction to stop upon seeing Samimi right in the middle of the hallway?
Before my
Well,
turn
let's
goes
see.
up.
Or
Okay.
can I
Let's see the
swerve towards the
16d10
right?
first. Let's see the 16d10 first.
Alright.
Bathroom break. Be right back.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think. Oh, I see
You
10s.
steal 33. Oh god. Even more than last time. Alright, so give me a piloting roll.
Absolutely, sir. I'm actually kind of okay at this.
Notice if you fail, that's same roll that you did for the door, you may have to do on Samimi.
He's a computerized, right?
Saved.
Get autopilot piloting plus 15.
Isn't it like a minus a huge ass number?
It's plus
The
0.
automatic pilot. Yeah, the automatic piloting isn't a bonus. It's just a static.
Yeah,
It
pilot
rolls plus 15 if you've got the
However-
autopilot on.
The autopilot kept telling me not to run into this thing.
Yeah, he had to.
So you had to disable it.
He had to disable the autopilot.
Well, the autopilot you either have on or you have off. It's like
If he had it on, he would not be able to pilot it into the door.
Mm-hmm. It prevented me. It's like the auto braking on modern cars.
Yeah.
You stopped there.
Whoa! Did I get this guy?
Oh, he's a now a blood smear between the wall and the tank.
I like to note that I stopped by just running into the side on the right because I see Samimi like in the headlights. Oh shit! Yo,
So
Samimi, okay?
The DC to stop dead was 20, and everything below that was extra movement. So at 14, you if you'd rolled a 2 or less, you would have hit Samimi.
Woo! The seatbelt is like in my chest.
You will also note that the control panel you've just destroyed.
Yeah, Bear. I mean, there's no power, anyways.
Ricky! Care to make a door? Care to make a door?
I'm making a big door. Wait a minute. I'm not very wide. Here, I'm pretty dang wide. Gun time. However, that was a full 550 feet of movement that I basically just threw at that door.
That was a full ram.
Yeah.
That was a movement action, though.
No, it was a full move.
It was full
Oh,
move, so
okay.
that's
For the
my
ram.
fault. That is my turn, and the drone's gonna keep watch still.
Yeah, the guy is pretty much cowering at this point. He does not want anything to do with this anymore. Benny, you're up.
Alright. Alright, guys. I'm gonna take a quick poll here. Do you, Pellet, do you want me to try and pick these guys off from behind, or should I just extract and hope that you trust that you guys can get out?
Benny, that guy is going to murder you twice.
He didn't see me.
Yeah, keep it that way.
Alright, moving out. He just does double move action. I wish this thing was long enough for me to jet dash down it, but I can't. So it's
A full
have
move
some-
gives you 40 feet, or sorry, 4 times your normal movement.
really.
Yep, only in a straight line though.
I do have something called quick movement. Let me double check.
Oh,
to see what
then
that
there's got something else.
I'm willing to call this a straight line enough to get you to the tank. Even though, yeah, the slight 90 degree, but that's you just stepping back from the grate.
Okay. Meow. Oop. Meow. 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 Alright, I'm here.
Could you fucking...
I'm a rabbit. We're really fast.
Oh, plug your ears, by the way.
Wall. Yeah, as the wall turned, he just sort of leant into the outside of the wall.
I don't usually hear guys brag about that, but okay.
Not that kind of fast.
Yo, Benny, plug your ears.
He does so.
Professor, you're up. The 2 security guards are not really paying that much attention to you anymore. They're both pretty horrified that the cult killer is coming through the door.
Hey guys, we're about to knock politely. You might want to get away from the door.
Well, I guess. Well, first off, I'm trying to figure out because We have a lot of people that have participated suddenly in these stream raiders. I'm trying to specifically reward these instead of random to people that actually are, you know, in the chat and talking to us. So I guess I'll give that to Gunner then, because I did see you in here. I don't recognize any of these other names though.
And
So
Ricky, you'll be able to see the exact position of each of them
Oh.
through the wall, sort of like the the video game see-through
Yeah,
wall.
like thermal.
Right?
Yo, that's
Yeah.
sick.
But the TACnet basically tracks each of you, and Pellets, you can see his perfect outline. You can see a heart rate monitor on
Oh,
him.
it's like a Left 4 Dead green outline.
but you better
Basically,
come
but you
back,
get-
Gunner.
You get the better version for Pellet because his armor also contains bio monitors, heart rate monitor, everything.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we still got these 2 hostile guards. We got 2
Who don't
possibly
seem as interested in you anymore.
Yeah. We got 2 possibly hostile cultists. We're gonna go ahead and exit. Exion
Through what?
stage
Yeah,
30.
the door there is closed, and you guys know that the tank is lining up a cannon on those doors. In case
Pellet,
that changes where you want to go.
let's move back. Get into some cover. Yes. Might be a good idea.
Pellet.
Yes, I will gladly.
Pellet just shits at 198.
Samimi.
Would she have the wherewithal to be able to scramble over, under, and through the tank's squares without getting caught up in it?
Yes, the tank is hovering. You can easily crawl underneath it, especially as Yusoki.
It's also an allied square.
Okay, come on. Door
Vehicles
open.
are exempt from the Allied movement rule because you can't drive
Oh.
a car through another car's square.
Fair enough.
Not with that attitude.
Okay,
But
door open. Open.
But
Door.
a person could move through a vehicle's allied square, yes? Supposedly? As long as it's not actively driving?
Well, in this case, the tank is actively driving, but it's also a hover tank, which means you guys can move underneath it. The door does. You don't see any external controls for it.
Can't
Is
get
there
through the
anywhere
door, man. Can't
that
make
looks
it.
like-
Can't make it, man.
Door stuck!
Door's stuck. Please.
I beg you.
There's so
There's a
many-
reference I'm missing.
Oh, all right. Give me a sec. I'll do the history lesson. I'll grab it.
Alright, sounds good.
But yeah, so the door is jammed. You don't seem to be able to have any way of opening it.
Except throwing a force disc at it.
All right, yeah, you do deal damage to it. Put a bit of a hole in it. I guess which one of them? That's those doors. Only has 25 hit points, no hardness. So you put a decent hole in it, to the point that you can see through and even talk to Twitchy on the other end, who's panicking a bit. He's was locked in this room, and then all of a sudden everything went black. Then explosions, then big booms, then clunks, then this big scraping noise, and now you basically prying it open from the outside. He's living up to his Twitchy name.
Hey, we've got scheme. We're exfiltrating.
That's
We're getting the heck out of here.
that sounds like a word, yeah. Actually, I do know that word, yes. I'm security, I know that word.
By the way, Scheme, that's our ship. Get on. Don't take off without us, but get on.
Alright, when it's Scheme's turn, he will move for it. This guard is going to take a 5-foot step, and he's going to draw his pistol and aim at the door with the cult killer. Because he doesn't know about the tank. That prison guard is hiding still. Prison warden is going to stand up and aim his weapon, so they're both readied actions for the cult killer. And the cult killer is going to roll damage on the door and roll absolute minimum.
He headbutts the door.
He still does 13 damage on a minimum.
Oh my god!
And that's to a freaking door that has some hardness.
Alright, so I don't remember exactly what weapon the tank has.
If you look at the second page of the tank, the reaction cannon tactica under the other tab.
It says only 2d10 piercing. That doesn't seem
Yeah.
right for a tank cannon.
Because you guys have the light version of the tank cannon. You guys, I gave you the big heavy tank. The cannon was the most level appropriate cannon I could find.
Uh-huh.
So it's more of a armor-piercing submachine gun.
It's like an auto cannon.
Yeah.
At
Is the
this
tank
stage, yeah.
is the tank narrow enough to actually ram these inner doors?
Not
No.
with me in the way, it isn't.
You can shoot at it. You can shoot at the doors.
Alright. Full attack. Just explosions. Do I have to roll to hit?
Nope.
Alright. So that's not that's alright.
Alright, you've done a decent amount. But by the way, the weapon does have the penetrating property, so it ignores the hardness.
Perfect.
So that's about half the door's health done, and you're seeing bullets just rip through both. Roll me 2d4. Just the
Bah.
2d4.
Sla.
But yeah.
Alright, can you roll me damage again, please, on the head
fuck.
prison guard?
Oh. I didn't want it to be this way. 13 more. Sorry. I can't actually grab the damage on the
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, so Daka punches straight through both doors, and you even think it punches into that back wall a little bit more.
Alright.
Twitchy is still stuck. Benny, you're up.
Alright.
The tank is just
Um.
Daka the door.
What's Deka?
Gun.
More Daka.
More gun.
Let's see.
It's the
There
sound the
is-
gun makes when it shoots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have any explosives on me. I should start carrying explosives. Don't let Pellet know I said that. I have a diffraction cloak. What the heck was the diffraction cloak again? Cloak allows a number of rerolls per day based on its type. If you fail the saving throw against an effect that deals such damage, if an attack deals
Any
damage-
energy attack that goes
Right.
after you, you can make them re-roll the attack.
Right, okay, that's cool. Right. Blah. I forgot. I forgot. I got that forever ago.
That
I
was
don't
from your
have-
Pride and Accomplishment
Yes.
donation.
Thank you, Outer Space Foundation. I guess I'm just gonna move over, do a little slide. Oh, whoop. Slide right beneath the tank. Then I'd like to take up my... the door with Twitchy is still shut, right?
It's shut but damaged. You guys are prying it open. You can see Twitchy inside and talk to him. It's no
Right,
longer sealed.
I'm going to take my Serpent Laser Corona rifle, and I'm going to fire at the hinges of the door. Do I need to roll or just roll damage?
I don't think it has
It's a
hinges.
sliding
I think
door.
it's a sliding door.
Oh. Well, then I'm going... Where can I shoot this thing to make it open faster?
With a laser rifle? Probably nowhere.
Alright, fine. I'll just go to 8 on them jamming it open. And I don't know if that'll be assist roll or if there's something else I need to roll.
No. When it comes to assisting, you auto assist. I'm not gonna
Okay.
ask for anything on that.
Then auto assist. Let's go.
I've just been told it's pretty much time to end. I didn't realize how late we got, so
Yeah, unfortunately.
he's gonna run in. So we'll quickly finish this round, which will be Professor's turn. I assume you and Pellet are still going to be cowering because the tank is just shooting through the doors.
Yep. Or at least,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll hold a action to run out as soon as it's open.
All right, Samimi, trying to get the door open again.
Yeah, that thing I did last time worked pretty well. Let's do it again.
All right.
How close are the... No, they're not close enough for me to do that.
That will be enough to get the door breached enough for Twitchy to get out. He's going to quite quickly run out. Look at the tank. Look at you guys. I think you got this. And run for extraction. Or to the
I mean, he's
ship.
gonna waggle his eyebrows at that. Then knock on the tank. Ricky, open up!
What?
Open up!
Prove it's you.
Don't make me throw things in there!
Fair enough.
Uh,
I have to yell.
and
Jeez.
Elf holding action until the cultist killer gets through the door. The other cultists are even holding their actions, waiting for him to get through the door as well. So that would put us back top of round, and so we'll finish the session there. With next round, with it continuing with the cult killer trying to get through.
Alright.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for Retrograde Renegades Starfinder. I will be back tomorrow with some space engineers, so do come join us for that. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those good things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. It is because of you guys I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you all. I really couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Wired, for that donation this evening. It's a huge help. And yeah, I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you for coming.